Molson Canadian Sunday Night Classics on Leafs TV. It's a Canadian game. Brought to you by Molson Canadian.
It's March 29th, 1980, and the Edmonton Oilers are making their second trip into Maple Leaf Gardens, led by 19-year-old wonder kid Wayne Gretzky. This is Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. The Edmonton Oilers are led by Gretzky, Blair McDonald, and Dave Hunter. Darryl Sittler, Rick Bibe, and Bill Derlego are the kingpins for the Maple Leafs. Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to Maple Leaf Classics here on Leafs TV. We have a very interesting night at Maple Leaf Gardens for you this evening. The NHL is literally turning a new page in hockey history. Gone are the Broad Street Bullies and the Philadelphia Flyers style of hockey that won them back-to-back Stanley Cups. Now it's a magic time in the National Hockey League, and a young 19-year-old phenom, late of the World Hockey Association and now with the Edmonton Oilers of the NHL, is leading the parade in that department. 16,500 have come out to Maple Leaf Gardens to see Wayne Gretzky, who is battling Marcel Dionne for the scoring leadership in the NHL as a 19-year-old in this, his very first season in the National Hockey League. Former Maple Leaf Ron Lowe will get the call-in goal for Glenn Sather's young Oiler team, and Mike Palmateer starts for Joe Crozier's Leafs as the guardian of the Gilded Gazebo tonight. And so it is March 29th, 1980, the Leafs and Oilers. This is Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
He claims to be
Stan Weir, along with Don Ashby. And for the Maple Leafs, Boreas Salming and Rocky Saganuk, and relatively newcomer, Wilf Payma over from the Colorado Rockies. And also from the Rockies in that big trade with Lanny McDonald is Pat Hickey. He's the other Brantford native on the ice at the Gardens this night as well. After a junior career with the Hamilton Red Wings, Hickey was drafted by the New York Rangers in 1973. After 5 seasons in the Big Apple, he was dealt to Colorado in January of 1980 and then moved to the Leafs later that same season in the McDonald trade. In 646 career games, Pat Hickey had 192 goals and 404 points, and he joins us this evening here on Leafs Classic. Welcome. This is an interesting night for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is this young upstart, this young newcomer to this league that everyone wanted to see. And Wayne Gretzky, you grew up in Brantford, so you had a little bit of previous scouting knowledge on this kid.
A little bit. He used to skate with me when I was 19, 20, getting into shape in the North Park Arena in Brantford. But I take a lot of pride in what Wayne went on to do, because at Varsity Stadium with the Toronto Toros, they gave me Samsonite luggage as a sort of a memory of coming out of the Brantford Minor Hockey Association. And I think that sort of brought attention to all the scouts coming to Brantford. They found Riseborough and Jarvis and this kid named Gretzky. So they named streets and building after him now, and he deserves everything. And this night he proved it, and he also sort of got us by the jugular.
When you watch him, and I guess for the first time, the one thing that you always hear from people who too small, can't skate, doesn't shoot the puck real hard. Yeah, he had 4 goals and 3 assists, but I'm really not sure about him.
I'm always leery about those. They said that about me and a lot of other good hockey players all the way along. Like Marcel Dionne couldn't do it, and Pat, you can't do it. And anytime pros say that, I kind of really look at it. Wayne was he was like a piece of cooked spaghetti, and when you hit him, that's just what it did. It just wrapped around you, so you could never really figure it out. But he always did the simple things, and it's not easy to give a pass and to take a pass, but those are the things that he does well.
Now, Pat, you arrive here in Toronto, a part of this is a major upheaval. And it's a time in Leaf history that a lot of things are happening, not the least of which is a dressing room that is really almost divided because of what's gone on with General Manager Punch Imlach back in his second tenure. You arrive here in a trade for a very, very popular player. What was it like when you arrived in Toronto? Here you are. Were you a Leaf fan when you grew up to start with?
Definitely, sure. Yeah, 63,
so now you're in here.
67.
Maybe it's a dream to put that jersey on, but the circumstances got to be a little tough.
How quick we learn, eh? You can never come home again. But
That's right.
No, that was a very interesting time, and you have to put in perspective. I just came from the Stanley Cup Finals with the Rangers the year before, and we had guys like Carl Vadnais and Phil Esposito, and I had been through Raj Gilbert, and these guys were real leaders. So I think I brought some leadership to a chaotic situation, and not only just that year, but sort of a decade previously, the Leafs were trying to figure it out. So at that time, it was a heartthrob that Lanny left, and I would have loved to play with him, but you know, we had Wolf and made the trade with Tiger and brought in Rick Vive and Derlego, and Punch had grabbed me earlier and said, if I've got some kids coming in here, can you work with them? And I think it was knowing that what I did with the Rangers. I was a kid and they worked with me, so I sort of had those lessons. And Punch on the side actually delegated Rick Vive and Derlego to me to take care of them on the road, on the ice, and off the ice, you know.
That was no easy chore.
We ate well, yeah. Well, they should have kept me around a little bit longer. But at this time, leading into this game, there was a lot of changes. But I think with Joe Crozier coming in, we did address, and I think that we had our morale in the locker room. Kind of everybody had their mourning period. They cried, we yelled, we threw sticks and broke things and everything else, but we were over that and we were ready to play some hockey. We were fighting for 10th place overall, trying to move up in the standings. But I think there was a lot of other things going on. We were fighting for our tradition and we thought we were a really good team, but there was a lot of other of those WHA teams that sort of came in. They were working their magic and getting better and learning lessons from us, and maybe we stopped learning some of those lessons. And
speaking of WHA teams, you're playing one tonight, the Edmonton Oilers, who have come over, and Wayne Gretzky did not have to go through the draft, did not have to go through any equalization. He just arrived in an Edmonton uniform and became the backbone of this team. And so tonight, the keys are shut down, the Oiler high-scoring offense. Keep an eye on number 99. That's, I guess, was put on every blackboard from the time he walked into the rink in the National Hockey League. And get plenty of shots on goaltender Ron Lowe, because it's March 29th, 1980. The Leafs are going to entertain Wayne Gretzky and the Edmonton Oilers, and it's Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
We have the players at center ice now. Stan Weir is starting for Edmonton. Blair McDonald on one wing. Don Ashby on the other. Lee Fogelin and Doug Hicks on the defense. The Leafs are countering with Bill Derlego, number 19 at center, with Pat Hickey on the left wing, number 16. And Rick Vive, number 22 on the right side, along with Borja Salming and Ian Turnbull, who has the puck. Turnbull, a long pass. That was knocked down by Hicks, who goes after it for Edmonton. And it's knocked down by Salming, then slipped through, and Weir trying to get in front of the net, and it's cleared back out to center ice. It's Fogelin losing the puck. It's shot up along the boards. It goes into Edmonton territory, and Doug Hicks covered. Derlego's trying to get the puck loose, along with Vive, and it goes in back of the goal, and Edmonton have possession. Just in the first minute of play, and there's no score in the game, as Ian Turnbull goes back, number 2, in back at the side of his net. Now passes one up here to Hickey. Hickey is being watched by McDonald. Finally, it's shot by the Leafs down the ice. It's going over the red line. It'll be touched by Hicks, and we have an icing. And Gary Dornhofer, and they're getting off to a pretty fast start.
Very good. Well, Joe Crozier is certainly very aware that the Leafs, if they're going to go somewhere in the playoffs this year, they have to improve their defensive play. A couple of things that he pointed out today. Number one, he certainly wants his defensemen standing up at that blue line and not giving up the zone, especially the likes of Stan Weir and Wayne Gretzky. And also, once they have the puck in their zone, he wants that quick pass to the wingers. Let's see if they can do it tonight.
Okay, Gary, and from the face-off, the puck is back of the net, cleared around on the glass. That goes into the crowd, and we'll have another face-off. Wayne Gretzky, number 99, is out there.
Well, Glenn Sather, on the other hand, he's just amazed at this young hockey club. In fact, prior to tonight's game, they're out the back playing street hockey with a taped-up ball. Can you believe that? They're supposed to be under pressure.
That's Greg Hotham, who's out there on the defense now. It was cleared back by Burroughs. Hotham has it. Hotham gets it up for Sittler. Sittler's out there against Gretzky. The puck is cleared back. Palmatier has it. That's number 99, Gretzky. And Mike Palmatier nearly put the puck in his own net. He just made a dive for it. It's right in front, and a backhand goes to the far side. Edmonton have the puck. Gretzky coming out in front with a shot. That stopped. It's knocked over to the wing, and it's brought out Martin to Sittler. Sittler up at center ice, over the line, trying to go through the defense. Gets on with the front. Oh, and Terry Martin was hooked, and there's going to be a penalty here when the play stops. That shot is wide. Palmatier's gone to the bench, And Gretzky flips it out and down the ice. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada. Well, there you see Dave Lumley for hooking at 1:54.
Well, Palmachera had a little anxious moment right in his own zone there. In fact, right in front of his net, the puck slipped off his stick. Almost had a goal. Sittler makes a good move here right in front. There you see the hook on Dave Lumley, and the Leafs will enjoy a 2-minute power play.
Out there, number 11, Mark Messier, to kill off this penalty, along with Stan Weir. Edmonton get the puck, but not out. Turnbull with the shot. And Salming over for Sittler. Edmonton trying to get it out. Messier knocks Gloria Salming down. It's underneath them. Fogle and Hicks. That's Hicks number 5. Doug Hicks was right in there. They're starting off as if they're...
Well, it certainly is a very big hockey game. And when we hit the Toronto area today, we saw a big spread about Wayne Gretzky. And everywhere he goes, he certainly draws the people. He's the biggest thing to hit the National Hockey League since way back when Bobby Orr broke in.
Hicks cleared the puck, but not out. Darryl Sittler has it. He tried to make a play, gets it back. Sittler will try again. Goes in to Paymo. Paymo tried to center it. Boschman is out on the power play on this one. Dan Weir gets it up to Fogelin. Fogelin over out of the far wing. Here's Edmonton closing in, getting right in on goal, and that one hit the side of the net. A nice play there by number 11, Mark Messier. Now the Leafs regroup in their own territory. 1:08 remaining in the penalty. No score in the game. 17-10 to go in the first period. Salming couldn't get it. Sittler lost it. Dan Weir went after him, but Sittler got away from him. Blair McDonald out there now, number 14 for Edmonton. A pass for Turnbull. Here's Ian Turnbull with a shot, and he fired it wide. Paymont gets the rebound. Took a shot off the leg. Paymont goes back to Salming. Salming gets it over to Turnbull. Here comes Turnbull's drive, right on low, stop that. And it ends up in the corner. Still kept in there. Here's Boschman. Coming out in front, rolled it right in front of the net. Sittler took a shot, low, stop that. And it goes down to center ice. Turnbull goes to Salming. Salming, a long pass for Laurie Boschman. Back to Salming. Salming, Saganuk over the line. Salming went down. And number 14, Kazicki, gives it to Burrows. Burrows back for Kazicki. Over the line offside.
Well, the weakest part of the Edmonton Oilers have been their guarding against the shorthanded situation. They've allowed 71 goals, but lately the big guy, Ron Lowe, has just taken charge. Here's some anxious moments, but somehow Ron Lowe covers up there, makes the big save. And you know, the Oilers on this last road trip, they've been outshot badly the last couple of games they've played, but Ron Lowe has stood tall, and he's been the reason that they're in a pretty good position to make a playoff spot in their first year in the league.
There's 7 seconds left on the penalty as the puck is cleared by Burrows around back of the net. Lowe stops it there. Vogelin clearing it around. The penalty is over, and now Edmonton are back at full strength. John Anderson with a pass to Kazicki. Kazicki trying to shove it in from the side. Has it back of the net and then was knocked off to the boards. Puck came out in front of Saganuk, a shot. And Ron Lowe stopped that. And they go to the boards again. And we'll get a face-off. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Toronto's making...
There we are. There's the time remaining in the first period, 15:45. Kazicki goes to the blue line to Hotham. Hotham shot it wide. It's Anderson stealing the puck. Gets it right out in front, but he shot it too hard past Kazicki all the way down the ice. Palmatier to Hotham. Hotham playing with Burrows. A quick pass over in the wing. Gets it back. Up to Burrows. Burrows' pass taken by Kazicki. Kazicki tried to center it. He did right across the goal mouth, and it was cleared off to the wing by Kevin Lowe. That's Kevin Lowe with a number 4. Edmonton in their own territory. Lowe getting it over for Pat Price. Shot it to center ice. Cleared right back in again. Murdoch, number 47, out, was touched with a high stick.
Well, Well, Detroit on Wednesday night, Don Murdoch scored his 100th and 101st goal in his National Hockey League career, coming over from the New York Rangers for Cam Connor. The knock against Donnie was that he didn't do an adequate job checking. Certainly can score goals, so that's Glenn Sather's responsibility now to develop him into a good two-way player.
Here's a shot right on by Vibe. The puck poked into the corner again. Evan Lowe shot it, but it went into the crowd and bounced back onto the ice.
A line change coming up now. Pat Hickey, of course, since he came from Colorado, is blended in very nicely. He was a teammate of Murdoch in New York. Another newcomer of the Leafs, Mike Kazicki, doing a little repair work on his stick there.
On the face-off, a shot right on. Rebound along the boards. On Ashby getting it out to center. He's out there with Stan Weir. And that was called on the offside. And face-off will be outside the Edmonton Oilers blue line. Stan Weir with Don Ashby and Blair McDonald. They're the three forwards for Edmonton. And we have Al Hamilton on the defense along with number 6, Colvin Campbell. Here's the puck out in front, knocked back by Stan Weir. Comes out in front of the net again. Here's Vive, goal! Ricky Vive drove it into the corner.
Ricky Vive is a happy young fellow there. The puck came loose right in the slot area. And did he ever get good one on it? You know, the puck was bouncing and up on its edge, but he caught that just perfect and let it go. Nobody around. McDonald, he was against the boards. He couldn't get there in time. Of course, it was a little bit too far for a defenseman to move.
Time 5:34. Rick Vive.
5:34
Pat
was
Hickey
the time of
and
Vive's
Bill
goal.
Time 5:34.
Hickey and Derlego assistant. Puck is called on a icing against the Maple Leafs. 14:15 now remaining in the first period.
Well, it's always an exciting time when a player scores his 20th of the year. But look at the slot area. Vive will get himself in position. It'll come loose. Now McDonald, he should have been looking at Vive there, you know, instead of being against the boards. And in it goes. So his 20th goal, and the Leafs lead 1-0.
And we're all set with Stan Weir now, ready for his face-off against Derlego, and Turnbull takes it back of the net. Turnbull going up with Vive on the right side. Turnbull up the center. Pokes the puck the rest of the way. Going back for it is Doug Hicks of Edmonton. Gets it around for McDonald. Hopped over the stick of Pat Hickey, who hauls his man down, and there's a penalty. A holding penalty to Pat Hickey. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Toronto.
Well, coaches keep telling you don't want to take a penalty between the two blue lines. You know, all Pat Hickey has to do there is, if you can't catch the man, take the trailer. But that's not a good area to take a penalty, and this will give the Oilers their first power play opportunity.
All set to go. The puck is dropped. One leg to Gretzky. Gretzky out in front of the net. Tried to get a shot away. Too well covered by Boria Salming. Then Gretzky got in front of him. Dave Hunter has the puck. Hunter out for Pat Price, and it was deflected and driven down the ice by Darryl Sittler.
Well, the real key in the Oilers' power play is the way they feed Gretzky behind the net. He has the whole ice to look at in front of him, and just watch some of the plays he'll make.
Okay, Gary Dornhofer, let's see what happens. It comes down to the Leaf blue line. Unley kept it in. Now Price from the side takes his shot. Palmetier gloved that. Wrapped it to the blue line and out. Sittler went after it. Unley got it back and was cleared by Kevin Lowe. Now here comes Edmonton. Over the line. That's Pat Price. Price lets one fly. That's knocked down. Burrows goes to the boards, and they get a whistle.
Well, a few good body checks thrown here, and there's a little disagreement in the corner. Dave Lumley, Dave Hunter are in there. Glenn Sather looking on. You know, the Oilers are the third most penalized team in the league. They really don't have a big hockey club, but they play aggressively out there. And of course, anytime you play that way, you're going to run into penalty situations.
Also,
We're going to see how this happened, where the puck was shot into the corner, actually put in the corner. See Dave Burrows being hooked behind by Lumley there, and both Lumley and Hunter take him hard into the boards. Lumley coming in there trying to dig out the puck. Hunter took Burrows in, and he objects to this. But cooler heads prevail, and there were no penalties called in that play.
John Murdoch, number 47, is now out there with Gretzky. And we have Al Hamilton, number 3, back at the blue line. Leafs maintains Sittler out there. It goes to Hamilton. There's his shot. Palmateer stopped that. Larry McDonald couldn't get the rebound. It's driven into the corner. They try to get it loose. There's a shot right on by Murdoch, and it's cleared down the ice. 43 seconds left in the penalty to Pat Hickey. Al Hamilton of Edmonton coming up slowly. A long pass at center ice. Gretzky getting it over the line for McDonald. McDonald is skated out by Salming. Gretzky is too well covered by Turnbull, and we'll have a face-off. Tomorrow on Sports Weekend, it's the final match in the Silver Broom World Curling Championship, live from Moncton Coliseum.
Well, as we had said before, Gretzky's the key in this power play. He has 13 to his credit this far in the season, and McDonald has 12.
There's a quick pass out to Kramer. Kramer with one man back. Takes his shot. It was high. Over the top of the net. The rebound all the way back to center. Over to Turnbull. Back to Salming. Salming heads for Paymon. Intercepted by McDonald. Larry McDonald's pass then stopped. The Leafs have it. And it's Sittler ragging the puck at center. He's checked. Here's Murdoch to Gretzky. Gretzky tried to get it back. There's nobody there. And with the penalty over, the Leafs are back at full strength. They lead 1-0, 11:53 to go in this, the first period. Back for Edmonton. That was Doug Hicks who shot the puck in. Cleared by John Anderson from Rocky Saginaw. Hicks still keeps it in. The Leafs shoot it around on the boards, and it comes back out to center ice. Pat Price over to Hicks. Hicks bounces it off the board. Saginaw just wrapped it right back. Hicks waits as Pat Price goes back of the net. He gets it back to him. And then it goes out. Turnbull had it hit his skate. It's way offside. And we'll have a face-off. With the score, Toronto 1, Edmonton 0. This is Hockey Night in Canada. Back live at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. The team's at full strength. 11:20 to go in the first period, and the Leafs with a 1-0 lead on Vive's goal from Hickey and Derlego at 5:34. Back there, number 4, Kevin Lowe. Kevin Lowe is being watched. He gets it up, though, on the right wing. A pass for Stan Weir. Stan Weir has it. Tried to relay it, got it over the line for Dave Lumley into the corner, sent it right in front. And it was Laurie Boschman, broke it up. Boschman, number 12, straight down through center, over the red line, over the blue line. Then he was hammered into the boards by Lumley. At Price shoots it up over onto the left side to Dave Hunter. Hunter's pass for Weir, he didn't see it. And Hotham out there now on the defense goes to Burrows. Dave Burrows back for Hotham. Hotham shot it off the boards, intercepted there by Kevin Lowe. Lowe goes in for Edmonton. He falls. Hotham tried to get it out. Shot around on the boards by Wayne Bianchin. Number 15 is out for the first time in the game. The puck comes out to center ice. That's number 11. Mark Messier shot the puck in. Palmateer's got it over to Hotham. Gets it up on the right side. Leaf players being knocked down. And back for it is Burrows. Burrows over onto the wing to Hotham. Hotham shot it out and down the ice past Hickey. Going back to get it is Doug Hicks, and he gets it, and that's icing called against Toronto.
Well, we have some important out-of-town scores tonight. teams trying to head for a playoff spot. Philadelphia ahead of Washington. Big game for Washington. Holmgren and Hill have scored in that one. And in Detroit, what a start the Red Wings have had tonight. Nedomansky, Labrat, and Mahovlich, Korn, and McCord have scored. Hislop has replied for the Nordiques.
We have Don Murdoch, number 47 out there now, along with number 24, Peter Driscoll. So a little juggling going on here in the first period. There's a pass in front. Murdoch just failed to get a direct drive. Comes back to Hicks. There's his shot. Palmetier got that. Another shot. And he stopped the rebound. Puck goes into the corner around back of the net. Cleared out to the blue line. A quick pass for Derligo. Failed to click. Mulhern out there now, number 8. Mulhern being watched by Murdoch, who took it away from him to Messier. Messier's pass. Hickey was there. And then it's Mulhern giving it to number 11, Ron Wilson, making his first appearance. Wilson gets the puck up on the right side. And missed a body check, goes over the line, trying to get set for a shot. And he was too well covered and knocked down by Driscoll. The Leafs have the puck. Pat Hickey centered it out in front, and Wilson just missed it. Wilson shot it in behind the net again. Hickey took a chop at it. That goes over to the far wing. Driscoll's got it for Edmonton. He gets it up to Messier at center. Messier and Murdoch going in together. Messier a hard drive, and it's wide of the net. Pat Hickey to Bill Derligo, number 19, coming through center ice. Shot the puck into the corner. It ends up back of the net. Lowe clears it up on the wing. And that's McDonald trying to get away. He left it there for number 19, Ashby. Ashby lifts one over on the side. Ashby's got it again. Trying to come out in front. Does the shoot the score! Murdoch scoring from Ashby. No question about that.
Well, the last couple of shifts, the Oilers have been doing a better job of skating. And what a great play here by Ashby. Salming got attracted by the puck there, didn't take the man, and look at the play that he makes to McDonald. And boy, you don't want to leave McDonald alone. He knows what to do with that thing. He's got over, what is he, 47 goals now? Good position. And he pops it home. That was his 44th of the year.
And number 99, Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky got an assist on the play. The Leafs have that puck now in. Comes back to McDonald, and McDonald gets it over onto the left side. That's Colin Campbell shooting the puck in, ends up back of the net. Shot around on the boards for Pamo. And it's kept in by Edmonton. They're trying to get it out in front of the net. The Leafs break it up. It's Sittler coming up to center, overskates the puck momentarily, gets it over the line. Pamo shot, Lowe stopped that with his glove. McDonald gets it up on the left wing for Ashby. Ashby just shoots the puck in. Gretzky's out there. It's off the boards. There's a shot right in front, grabbed by Palmetier off the stick of Al Hamilton. 7:15. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Wayne Gretzky picks up an assist on a great play by Blair McDonald. 44 goals, Blair McDonald. This is the old adage about like playing with Mario Lemieux and people. A fire hydrant might get 100 points if you really paid attention and kept your stick on the ice and went to the net. But here's a situation where this kid comes in, 19 years of age. He's in his first year. You've had people know about him and have watched the WHA. What does Joe Crozier, as a coach, tell you to do? Do you shadow him? Do you keep an eye on him? What do you do?
Interesting concept. But going back to McDonald, Blair McDonald, my father always taught me, the puck follows he who skates. So I think you'll see he was skating there. But with Wayne, actually, at this time, we were in a process, and being with Fred Shiro, who was a real thinker the year before, we used to talk a lot about it. And it was the whole league figuring out, we just come through the Bobby Orr thing, you know, adjusting from a rushing defenseman. And now we have a centerman that basically can do it all and uses the whole ice. So it started off like shadow him. That was, you know, the tradition. You know, Bobby Hull, shadow him, put somebody on him. Well, that didn't work because he would score and assist, and then we say, okay, we'll put 2 guys on him. And then we put 2 guys on him, and all he would do is just make more assists, right? Because somebody else was open out there. So we consciously, at this time, we talked about him, basically, just give him the outside, shrink the rink, let him have the outside. If he can score from there, fine. But now we've got 5 guys on 4 other guys. He can't pass it to anybody. But as you see in a play when McDonald scored, someone missed his mission there and left him open, and Wayne just had that ability. And you know, with that, though, I think we got into that mode a little bit too strong. Just let him go and take away his options. Well, next year he scored 92.
Yeah.
So he was figuring
he figured
it out all the time.
on his own, too, didn't he? That's right. You're absolutely right. So the Maple Leafs are tied 1-1 with the Edmonton Oilers. Let's go back now to Bill Hewitt.
The design on the ice tonight is a symbol of the Canadian Cancer Society. Help support cancer research. Give generously when your volunteer canvasser calls during the April campaign of the Canadian Cancer Society. There he is, standing by tonight. Casey's called upon. Irisira.
At center, Mark Messier. Number 47 is Don Murdoch. And Dave Semenko, number 27. The puck at Murdoch was knocked down, cleared by Fogelin, and that's offside.
Congratulations are in order for a member of our Hockey Night in Canada crew, Anna D'Agostino, wife of Tony Agostino, our video switcher, has given birth to a 6-pound, 9-ounce baby boy. The newest member of the D'Agostino family, John Carmen, is doing well, as is the mother. Congratulations again to Anna and Tony.
Okay, Gary Dornhofer, and the puck's at center ice. Goes back for Borja Salming. He shot the puck in. Back there for it is number 2, Lee Fogelin. Fogelin's being watched by Hickey. Derlego tried to center it, and Messier gets there. Messier up the boards. Then Derlego, a quick pass for Pat Hickey. Trying to roll it out in front and low. Whacked it with his stick over to the far wing. Back comes Edmonton. A long shot off the boards. Just missed the linesman. And Pat Hickey on a 3-on-2 with Derlego. Over to Vive. Vive trying to get it back to Hickey. And it's broken up. Murdoch bringing the puck with a pass up at center. Messier gets it over the line. But number 24 was offside. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada. Expired so far, 14:55. The score is tied 1-1. And we have Wayne Gretzky at center. Ashby is playing on the left wing. And McDonald on the other. Here's Sittler getting a chance, and he took a shot wide. Lowe leads it there. It comes back to the blue line. Burroughs lets the shot go wide of the net. Over to the blue line. Shot in by Hotham. Ends up back of the net. Into the corner. Edmonton trying to bring it out. There it is for Gretzky. Gretzky tips it over the line. Going in Ashby. Ashby to McDonald. And Palmateer stopped out. Now the Leafs come back. Sittler up at center. Over to Hotham. Hotham tried to get it back to him. Shot it into the corner. Back of the net for Darryl Sittler. Sittler is then given a bump by Ashby. And Edmonton shoot the puck down the ice. That's going over the red line. Going back. Palmateer decides that Gretzky could have been able to touch it. There'd be no icing, and there isn't. So up to center ice comes Hotham. He shot it over the line. Pat Price knocked it down for Edmonton. A pass to Gretzky. Gretzky then to McDonald, and he couldn't control it. And it's Borja Salming. Salming, a pass ahead to Turnbull. Ian Turnbull through center ice. A 1-1 tie in this first period. It goes around for Laurie Boschman. Boschman tried to center it, and it goes into the crowd.
Well, we have a look at the leading scorers in the National Hockey this year. Dion has been there just about the whole season. Wayne Gretzky closing the gap with that point tonight, only 4 behind. Guy Lafleur and down the line. But Gretzky is the leading scorer in the second half. He has really caught fire and made it a very close race.
Boschman, Anderson, and Saginaw. Stan Weir facing off for Edmonton. And he won the draw. The puck goes in back of the net. Edmonton trying to work the puck out. Kevin Lowe got it over to Stan Weir. Weir comes up over the line. Rolled it in front. Palmateer came way out of his net. Puck is knocked ahead. A long pass from Boschman to Anderson. Anderson's over the line with a hard shot, and then that straightened Ronnie Lowe up, but he made a good play on it.
Now Ron Lowe, you know, he's given the rest of the Oilers a lot of confidence. You know, you talk about the big save, you know, at the right time, and that's what Ron Lowe has been able to do. The first game that he played in, he went right into Quebec and stopped over 20 shots in that second period. And Coach Glenn Sather said that fellow won the game for us. And ever since then, the players have responded.
3 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in the first period. We have a 1-1 tie. Pat Price clears it along the boards. Dave Hunter couldn't get it out. It goes back in the net. Rory Boschman then given a bump by Weir right out in front to Sagan. Another try, and Anderson just failed to get it. Comes back to Turnbull. Turnbull lets a shot. Lowe stopped that. Anderson's got the puck again. Gets it over, and it went off Salming out to center ice. Ian Turnbull losing the puck. Lumley gets it over the line. Here comes his shot, and Palmatier covering the short side. Now then Salming gets it ahead for Anderson. Pat Price is there. Price of Edmonton over the line. Boschman had him covered. They go to the boards and play is called. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And we're back live here at Maple Leaf Gardens as we get set for the face-off, and we have Mark Messier, Don Murdoch, and Dave Semenko out there on the forward line for Edmonton. The Leafs counter with Derlego, Hickey, and Vive. Derlego getting it back. That's Ron Wilson. A perfect pass to Derlego. Derlego left it there, and it's broken up by Edmonton. Comes up to center where Messier clears it over the line, cutting in with a backhand. Another shot off the stick of Wayne Bianchin. Bianchin, number 15, cut right in. Now it's a pass, and the Leafs bring it back. Hickey coming to center. 2 minutes remaining in the period as Vibe nearly got loose. It goes toward Wilson. He knocked it into the corner. Hicks goes after it. Vive's in there as well. Tried to kick it to Hickey. Burrows. Then to Hickey. Then to, it's shot back out here on the right side, and Murdoch sends it up to center ice. Falling down was Bianchin. And back for it, Ron Wilson, number 11. 1-1 tie, 1:31 remaining in the first period. The puck is cleared into the corner. Back of the Leaf goal for Wilson. Wilson over to Vive. Vive back for Derlego, too far. Edmonton come right back over the line. McDonald, a hard shot. That's Ashby 19 going after it. The Leafs chop the puck down the ice. But it's not going to go over the red line. Number 6, Colin Campbell. Out there with Al Hamilton, number 3. McDonald. A pass over on the wing, intercepted. Payment gets the puck ahead to Sittler. One man back, a shot. Lowe stopped that on the short side. It comes out in front again. Snowman gets it back to Sittler. Sittler for Payment. They roll it to score. Luke Payment from Darryl Sittler.
Well, defenseman Al Hamilton was all over Paymont, but somehow he got a stick on it. But he does the right thing. He heads for the net. As soon as you see your teammate with a puck against the boards, go for the net. Sittler laid it right in the crease area. Here it coming up. Paymont's going for the net. Deflects it. Just crosses over the line. And that really hurts when you get that goal scored against you in the last minute of play.
1913.
1913, there's another shot right on. As the Leafs trying to hem Edmonton in, but it was called on the offside.
All right, we're going to have one more look at it, but the good play by Sittler, you'll see him pick up the puck. Now look at Paymont heading for the net. Al Hamilton just slowed down slightly there. Didn't really have good position in getting a hold of Paymont in that play.
The puck goes to Boreas Salming with 32 seconds remaining in the first period. 2-1 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's off the boards. Out to center. Turnbull has it to Salming. Salming for Sittler. Sittler trying to get it through to Terry Martin, and that's broken up. Back for Pat Price. He gets a pass over to Gretzky. Gretzky's pass in turn knocked down. Gretzky got it again, this time to Ashby. McDonald is shot, and Palmatier stopped that. It's Wayne Gretzky coming around from behind that, and she scores!
Play, oh boy, how he's going to have fun in the first intermission. That's amazing. But he's been doing it all year, Bill. Time and time again.
Beautiful.
Oh, wait a minute now. There's a signal, no goal. Bob Myers is saying that the time had elapsed. There's a discussion over at the penalty box right now. Or Hogarth, rather. I'm sorry. Hogarth, referee. Let's see if we can have a look at if the light goes on, signifying the stoppage of play. Here you see Gretzky going along. He'll hang on a little bit. And then high in the short side. You really can't tell. But now, Ron Hogarth had signaled it is a goal.
Well, it was Gretzky from McDonald and Ashby. 19:59 is the official time. It's actually over now. But as long as that red light goes on, it counts. And so the score at the end of the first period is Edmonton 2 and Toronto 2.
With just one.
Howie at the beginning of the show talked about Gretzky and specified his play around the net and in behind the net, and we saw all sorts of examples of how well he uses that area of the ice, which I think a lot of people figure isn't important.
That's right, but the way this youngster uses it is just amazing, and here we want to show you right off the bat. People say, hey, he hasn't got the legs. He's in a foot race here with Burroughs, and he has no trouble at all overtaking him. Look at the lead that Burroughs has. Right here, Palmatier is mishandling the puck, holding the stick wrong, went to stick handle, and only the heel of the stick was on the ice, and it almost went in his own net. Now watch, Gretzky right now is behind the net. Lumley gets it, throws it behind the net to Gretzky. Now look, Lumley cuts across in front, and Wayne tries to hit him. That's the key play, but he hit the defenseman's stick. Now the puck will come back out in front. Lumley will have his chance. Palmatier didn't make the save, it went back in front. But Gretzky stays behind the net. They just throw him the puck. Now here he tries to come out. This is where he gets a lot of goals. If there's no one out in front of the net to give it to, he has the winger and the point man on that side. Then he comes out himself. Now we'll show it to you right in slow motion. And isolation. Great legs this youngster's got. Look how far he turns his skate out. Look at the purchase that he gets in the skate. He has great, great mobility. And as I said earlier, tremendous concentration, and he knows how to play the game of hockey, particularly from this point. I advise anyone that goes to a hockey game and he's playing, watch how well he operates from behind the net. There he was trying to hit Lumley, cutting across in front of the net. Lumley comes in behind, picks it out, and comes out on this side, and Palmatier didn't have to make the save. He panicked and got rid of it early. But look at Gretzky stays there. He knows the puck is going to come to him. Now, everyone out in front is checked, and he brings it out in front and has, sort of a weak play on the net. Now his goal. Got to show you his goal. Again, they say, hey, he can't skate. Look how well he uses the net. Uses the net just perfect to keep Turnbull off. And Palmatier played that shot like a klutz, really. He had to be coming out. He had to guard the short side. But nevertheless, the little kid went around the net and put it up in high, and he gets all kinds of goals like that.
Palmatier wanted the blue light to come on, but the red light came on, and the Oilers are tied. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada.
Pat Hickey picks up an assist on Rick Vibes' 40th goal of the season to give the Leafs a 1-0 lead, but then Blair McDonald with his 44th of the year set up with Wayne Gretzky's assistance. Will Payma gave the Leafs the lead again with his 28th of the year, and Wayne Gretzky with 1 second left with his 48th of the season has tied the game at 2. It's March 29th, 1980. It's the Leafs and Oilers. This is Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
Well, Bill, I'm glad we got that cleared up.
That's
it
right.
was a goal. We were a little confused there because there was a lot of players around Hogarth wondering if that went in, but it definitely counts. Gretzky has another goal, and the game is tied.
And play underway in this second period. A long pass for Ashby, and Ashby pushed off the puck. Paymo goes to Turnbull in the corner. Turnbull's watched by McDonald. McDonald gets it back, and now here's to Lee Sittler. Ahead to Paymo. Paymo going in, takes his shot, and he fired it high off the glass. Gary Martin comes into the corner. He's got it for the Leafs. A 2-2 tie to Paymo. Paymo's pass, and McDonald going down with Gretzky. Gretzky's over the line. Gretzky stops. Gretzky still has it. Right out in front, they score! Beautiful play.
Isn't that amazing?
Gretzky to Don Ashby.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You know, if you're looking for a legitimate candidate for the Hart Trophy, just look at 99 Wayne Gretzky. He had Salmi on him. He'll stop here. The defender will go by him. And then to make the perfect pass to Don Ashby, who got in good position. He just turned Salming inside out there, set up the perfect play, and the Oilers have gone out in front, and it's 3 points for Gretzky already.
Just 39 seconds into the second period. Edmonton with a 3-2 lead. The Leafs come back. Derlego a shot. That goes into the corner. Pat Hickey, then Derlego. Derlego lost possession of it. And here comes Gretzky again. Gretzky putting on a real show. Coming up the center. Gets it over the line. Stole the puck. Gretzky still has it. And he's trying to get it back. And Vine comes back for the Leafs. He's being watched by Kevin Lowe, a hard shot, and Ron Lowe stopped that. Hickey another shot. Time for Derlego, and it's out to Gretzky. Gretzky up at center, shoots the puck in, and gets a rest. And a hand as well from the fans here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Back for Edmonton. Number 20 trying to get up in front, Lumley. Lumley has it again, a back pass behind the net. Stan Weir couldn't get it. They go to the boards. Hotham's got a skate on it. Vive has two. Stan Weir's trying to dig it out. Play is called.
Well, Wayne Gretzky certainly knows how to set up plays. But that last one, that was something else. He'll make the fast stop. Look at Ashby get in front of the net. Perfect. He didn't waste any time. He let it go right away. Salming was going from Gretzky to Ashby. And there's the close. The way Gretzky is moving up in the leading scorers for the National Hockey League. Only two behind Dion now. A goal and 2 assists early in the second period.
Dan Weir's shot from the faceoff. Palmature got it over to the wing, and it goes in back of the net. Gloria Salming, number 21, around on the left side. Anderson can't get out. As Al Hamilton drove it back, it goes into the corner. Stan Weir after it for Edmonton. Gets it to Lumley. Lumley's trying to center it, and it's shot by the Leafs to the blue line, but not out. Finally comes out to center ice. Knocked down there by Campbell. Now it's over the line for the Leafs. Hagenuck took a shot low. Scooped the rebound into the corner. Laurie Boschman shot it out as Salming was outside the line. Salming off the boards now for Boschman. Boschman shot it wide. The rebound into the corner for Al Hamilton. He was stopped. Anderson shot it over for Hagenuck. Hagenuck clears it back again. This time to Anderson. Anderson right in front for Boschman. And the puck is cleared over onto the far wing. A clearing pass now for number 12, Dave Hunter, and it's cleared by Hagenuck down the ice. That's over from his own side of center, and that's icing. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Hockey Night in Canada. We have 16 minutes, 58 seconds to play in the second period. Edmonton 3, Toronto 2. Here it comes back to the blue line. Fogelin lets to go to the boards. Dave Burrows losing it to Murdoch. Murdoch centered it, but it was nowhere near Messier, and the Leafs come back. Paymo trying to get around the defense, trying to drop it back to Terry Martin. And it's Messier coming down number 11 with Murdoch over the line. Murdoch takes the pass, missed a body check, and just failed to get it through, but he knocked the puck into the corner. Hotham comes up with it on this side. Murdoch missed him. And the Leafs trying to get the puck out, and they do. Darryl Sittler down the left wing at center. Over the blue line. Takes a shot. Oh, got his toe in the way of that. Back for Edmonton's Fogula. Leaves it there for Murdoch to Fogelin. Fogelin is checked. And the Leafs. A pass ahead to Sittler. Sittler going in with Pamo. Pamo's got the pass. Here's the backhand, and it's high and wide. Then Boria Salving walks right in. And Lowe stopped that.
Well, Boria Salming, something that he does so well from that defensive position. He just picks that puck up and moves right in with his good speed and lets that wrist shot go. Ron Lowe was in the position to make the save. That's Salming trying to make up for that last goal against him. Really took charge there and got the good shot away. Perhaps Martin might have tried to get in front of Ron Lowe there and set up the screen. But a good play by Salming. Out with an injury tonight, but looking on, defenseman Dave Farish. His place being taken by Greg Hotham. Farish has that ankle injury. Twisted his ankle while carrying groceries. Can you believe that?
It can happen. Puck goes into the corner, comes up along the boards, and Edmonton bringing it up. That's Gretzky going with Ashby offside.
Well, that's one thing that the Leafs certainly have to be aware of. They can't give up the zone to Gretzky. That sign, Bill, on Red Lake is a testimony from Maple Leaf Garden manager Shanny McKenzie, whose son Billy played with the champion Red Leaf Maple Leafs. Congratulations, Billy, from all of us, especially your father, Shanny McKenzie.
Gretzky ready to face off. Puck goes to Vive. Vive gets it back to Salming. Over it goes on the left wing. Mulhern flips the puck in. Vive goes after it. Vive in a collision with Kevin Lowe, and they're going to call it icing.
Rick Vive was a first-round draft pick with the Vancouver Canucks. Certainly was a good trade by Punch Imlach. Bring him over here. And it's just a matter of working with this young fellow. Get him acclimated to a new system, and he got his 20th tonight, and that's the 6th Leaf that has reached 20 goals or more.
Deleted change by Edmonton as they bring out Stan Weir at center. Wayne Gretzky, league leading 82 assists this season. Gary, that's really phenomenal. 19 years old. On the face-off, the puck is behind the net. It's Richard Mulhern getting it over to Salming out to center ice. Edmonton in have possession. Dave Hunter's pass. That's Stan Weir shooting it in back of the net. And Mulhern stopped by Weir again, and Salming goes to the far side. And we have Derlego coming up the center ice with Hickey over the line. Derlego into the corner, centered it. There was nobody there. And number 12, Dave Hunter. And we have a penalty. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
He's escaped. Aggressive there and was caught holding. There's no question about that call against Rick Vive. And the Leafs, with this power play, will try to tie up this hockey game.
Edmonton 3, Toronto 2, 14:59 remaining in the second period. The puck in the corner, shot off the boards. Ron Wilson couldn't keep it in. It's offside.
You know, Bill, the Oilers have 10 shorthanded goals. So when the opportunity presents itself and they have a chance to try and get a goal, they certainly do. You know, with the likes of Stan Weir and Mark Messier, two guys that can motor pretty good out there, they'll take advantage of the situation and try to get that shorthanded tally.
Puck is cleared by Fogel, and it goes back to Ian Turnbull. Turnbull then relays it to Ron Wilson. Ron Wilson, who's playing his first game with the Leafs this season, gets it up on the left side. Turnbull over for... Now the puck is along the boards here, and Wilson will try again. Gets it over on the wing. That's a drive by Boschman. cleared to the blue line. Then Turnbull gets the shot right on. Ron Lowe stopped that. Paymo standing right in front of him.
You know, when you get possession of the puck in your own zone, what most coaches like to do is have the defenseman shoot the puck around the boards. But the winger, it's very important that he's along the boards. He can either try to gain control and shoot it out, or try and deflect it past that defenseman. This is probably the worst part of the Oilers team, is their penalty killing. They've had all kinds of problems this year. They are very vulnerable on the power play.
Sittler, Paymo, and Laurie Boschman. The puck comes back to Wilson. Wilson goes to Turnbull. Turnbull into Sittler, and Sittler shot it wide on a deflection. Now it's Stan Weir getting up to Messier. Messier with Weir. They crisscross. Back to Stan Weir, and that was stopped by Turnbull, and Pat Hickey recovers. Pat Hickey starts out now as they've taken Boschman off. Out for Sittler. Sittler shot it over the line. Goes after it. Puck is cleared down the ice by number 14, Blair McDonald. 44 seconds left on the penalty now as the puck is back of the net, and so far the Leafs haven't been very successful with the odd man. Ron Wilson drives the puck in. The rebound off the boards. It's flipped but not out. McDonald goes after it. Couldn't get it out. Ends up in the corner. Sittler is given a bump. McDonald's there. The puck comes loose. Comes back to Ron Wilson. Wilson. Then to Turnbull. Turnbull took a shot. Lowe stopped that. They go to the boards again. And they hold it for a face-off.
Ron Wilson, because of the injury situation here with the Toronto Maple Leafs, was called up from the Moncton Hawks. First game this year. Played a few games last year, but good opportunity for the young kid. You know, when you're called up, you always like to make an impression. You know, you have to, or you'll be back down again.
And there's Gretzky out killing off the last 6 or 7 seconds of this penalty. Greg Hotham shot the puck around behind the net. It's cleared around for Gretzky, and it's kept by Burroughs. The penalty is over. Back on the ice is Dave Hunter. Edmonton shoot the puck into the crowd, and we'll have a face-off. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Well, old-timer Johnny Bauer played in the old-timers game here last week. Still as sharp as ever, eh, Bill?
Yes, he certainly is, Gary. Face-off in Edmonton territory. Teams are at full strength. Kazicki now at center with Anderson and Saganak. Murdoch, Messier, and out there in the forward line with Sko. As the puck is back to the Leaf blue line. Cleared over from Kazicki to Hoffman. He's checked. And now the puck is cleared in, and it goes in back of the net. The Leafs bring it out. Burroughs, a long pass for Rocky Saganak. He has a breakaway. He's going in on goal. Score! Burroughs hit him with a perfect pass.
Well, that is certainly a good way of getting out of your own zone. Davy Burroughs hits a flying Rocky Saganak. He's in full motion. Right, it just gets over the top of the circle, a high wrist shot. Ron Lowe, he never moved. It was by him before he had a chance to move. Just goes to show you the acceleration and speed of Rocky Saganak. Colin Campbell tried desperately to try to make contact, but to no avail. Two good plays. Burroughs the pass, Saganak the speed and the shot.
And we've seen two very, very good goals in this period. One by Ashby and now by Saganak. As we have a 3-3 tie, the puck goes to the boards. They're holding it there. Hunter finally gets his skates on it.
Well, we're going to have one more look at it. There's the outlet pass. Saganak, he is in motion. And look at him go. Now, you notice Ron Lowe, he's not out there challenging like he normally does. He's back in his crease. Perhaps if he had come out a little further, might have discouraged Saganak where he was trying to shoot that puck. But you know, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to Rocky, and he says, you know, I'm getting all kinds of chances, but I just can't score. And, you know, we were talking about it for a while, and I just made a suggestion. Why not just try to shoot the puck at the net, not really go for corners and see what happens?
Well, he just fired that one, and it was in the net. We have Stan Weir getting it over. There's a shot. Palmatier, then Weir, another shot, and they roll it into the goal crease.
Penalty shot. Here we go. Oh, boy.
We're going to see everything tonight.
Yes, we are. Borje Salming, he grabbed the puck in the crease. There was no hesitation there by Ron Hogarth, referee. And this is worth the price of admission right now. We're going to see that play again when the Oilers broke into the zone. There's the pass by Stan Weir. Hunter on his backhand. There's the save. Stan Weir goes for the rebound. You'll see the puck in the crease. Salming falls on it. And now we'll have the penalty shot.
Salming is still furious about the penalty. We'll have to see who gets to make the play. Now somebody's thrown some mice out, live mice out on the ice.
Stan Weir, he'll be taking the shot. He was the last one to shoot it. There you see the little
there's the live mice. They'll have to get them
I think
off.
that's number 4. Mouse number 4. He will take the shot. And nobody's going near them.
By number 21, Stan Weir.
And Stan Weir, he's not being attracted by the mice running around the ice surface. He's going back to talk to Ron Lowe.
One of the mice is after the referee. Well, that's another first.
Can you believe that? Yeah, keep your composure there and your concentration, Stan. Stan Weir, formerly of the Toronto Maple Leafs. 31 goals this year. Conversation with Ron Lowe. Boy, this is what it's all about. One of the most exciting plays in hockey.
Here he goes.
Oh,
And score!
yeah.
Stan Weir.
Well, Palmatier, he came out to challenge, was out about 15, 20 feet, and then as Stan Weir got closer to the goaltender, he moved back, but let's give Stan Weir a lot of credit here. He made a good shift. He froze Palmatier on the play, and he goes to his forehand. Watch him. There, just a little shift. All of a sudden, Palmatier, he can't get back in time, and Stan Weir moves to his forehand and tucks the puck in the corner. You know, he was awfully close to Palmatier. Perhaps Mike might have thrown that goalie stick out and tried to deflect the puck away.
So it's 4-3 now for Edmonton. On the penalty shot by Stan Weir. At 7:57. The Leafs shoot the puck in. Going back for it is Fogelin. He's checked. Fogelin gets it again. Fogelin clears it up and it slides out to center ice. Leafs get it back to their own zone. And here comes Borje Salming. Up the center, a long shot that bounces wide of the net. Back of the goal for Dave Hunter, right in front. And that shot by Bide. They're trying to get the puck loose, and here comes another penalty for falling on the puck.
Well, there was no hesitation by Ron Hogarth there. Right away, as soon as Fogelin was on the puck, he signaled the penalty.
With the score, Edmonton 4, Toronto 3. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
Trailing 4-3 now in the second period after Stan Weir's penalty shot goal. Let's go back to Bill.
Well, the Oilers are a little loose in their own zone. There was Vibe in the slot here. He took the shot. And down goes Fogelin to fall on that puck. So it was, the call was deliberately delay of game, power play Leafs.
It's Ian Turnbull with a drive, and he shot it wide, and the rebound goes all the way down the ice. Going back to get it is Borja Salming. Leafs trail by 1. Stan Weir out there with Don Ashby to kill off the penalty. Paymont comes back. Over it goes to Pat Hickey. Over the line. Pat Hickey is taken out of the play by Pat Price. Shot along the boards, but not out. Salming left it into the corner. Salming just failed to get a hold of it, and Price whacks the puck down the ice. Salming went down, and he's...
Well, we didn't see that one at all, Bill. We were following the puck being shot down the ice. We don't know who made contact with Borja Salming, but he's down on the ice. I don't think it's that serious. You see the trainer out there having a look.
That's Guy Kinnear, who is head trainer. Assistant trainer is Danny Lemelin.
There's Danny, looking the situation over. All right, we're going to try to have a look at what happened to Salming. Just look to the right of the replay down. There he goes. And may have collided. Here's a close-up of that play. Salming goes down, and he may have just hit his head on the ice as he fell down. Or he's skating over to the players' bench. Looks to be all right. Well, this certainly deserves another look. The go-ahead goal by the Edmonton Oilers. The one-on-one, most exciting play in hockey. But what a good shift Stan Weir makes here. Palmateer just couldn't get back in time. And I always like to go to your forehand, because then you can either shoot it high or low. When you get on that backhand with that curved stick, sometimes it's very difficult to get that puck up.
Okay, Gary Bernlacher, and the puck is taken by Ron Wilson. Ron Wilson, a pass up here to Paymont. Paymont, and he was checked by Hicks. Getting it ahead, getting over the line. Hunter gets set for, and he just deflects over to the far side. And the Leafs have possession. Ron Wilson coming up with Turnbull. Turnbull takes the pass. Turnbull shoots the puck into the corner. The rebound off the boards. Ends up behind the net. Turnbull's got it again right in front of the shot. By Hickey. There's the score! Ron Wilson's shot. I don't know who it hit, but we'll see it on the replay.
Well, it either hit Paymont or Pat Price. That's Ron Wilson's first game and his first point this year as a Leaf. Good low shot. We'll probably pick it up right here on the replay. There's the scramble in front of the net. Comes the shot. And it was Wilf Paymont off his skate. Into the net it goes.
Pat Hickey. And number 2,
and that was a power play goal.
Time 9:56.
There's a good low shot.
Paymont from Pat Hickey.
Looked like it hit Pat Price's skate first, and then may have deflected off of
well, they're
Wilf Paymont.
Have to make a change in that. They give.
No, that looked like it hit Pat Price in the skate.
But on the assist, it was Ron Wilson's shot from the blue line. We'll see what happens. Here the Leafs come back again. Anderson gets it over to Saganuk. Saganuk's shot is deflected. We have a 4-4 tie. 9:50 remaining in the second period, and it's been a good one. Mark Messier, Palmateer out of the net. Shot it, but not out. The puck then picked off by Laurie Boschman. Boschman over for Anderson. Anderson stops, falls, goes into the boards. The puck is cleared to the blue line, and Edmonton with a pass. Messier then grabbed a hold of Hotham and took his helmet off. Now cleared by Anderson out to center ice. That's Colin Campbell shooting it right back. Laurie Boschman. He's being watched by Ashby. Messier goes after his check, takes him into the boards. The puck kept in by Hicks, but the Leafs recover. Dave Burrows over to Rocky Saganuk to Laurie Boschman. And Boschman couldn't get over the line. Number 19, Don Ashby, and the puck is cleared the length of the ice. It's going over the red line, going back to get it. Greg Hotham, play is called. We have 8 minutes and 46 seconds to go in the second period.
Well, we have an update on those out-of-town scores. Quebec, 2 by Tardif, 1 by Brackenberry. They have now 4, and Foligno and Thompson have scored there in the third period. Is now 7-4, Detroit. And the Capitals are making a comeback. Mulvey and Sirois have scored in that second period. That game is tied at 2. The Rangers continue to flounder. They haven't won in 5. St. Louis, by a goal by Turnbull, lead 1-0.
They're legal then to pass, and Hickey's backhand. Hickey gets it back of the net again. They get it out in front. And now it's brought back by Edmonton down the ice. That's Blair McDonald. He gets right through the defense. Pass it right back to score. Ashby. On a beautiful play by Blair McDonald. He went right around Ian Turnbull.
Well, let's give a little credit to Blair McDonald. He made a move on Turnbull, but look at the play he makes here. I don't think Paul Machir had any idea that Ashby was floating down the wing there, but a very unselfish play by McDonald. You know, those are the kind of plays, that's teamwork. You do what you have to win, set up your teammate. No problem with that one. That's Ashby's second goal of the night.
Assist number 14, Blair McDonald, and number 99, Wayne Gretzky. Time 11:28. Don Ashby from Blair McDonald and Wayne Gretzky. Time 11:28.
Well, another point for Gretzky. That came in the Oilers zone, but a good individual one-on-one. Turnbull, he went for the shift there. And nobody picked up Ashby. Gerlago, he let him go at the blue line there, and Ashby kept going. Of course, you saw the play, the pass over there, and the easy goal.
Goes back to Greg Hotham, up to Daryl Sittler. 5-4, over the line for Terry Martin. His backhand will knock that off the side. Cleared around to Burrows. Burrows shoots it right back into the corner. Back of the net. Paymo right out in front. And Sittler had it deflect off his stick over the net. Paymo's got it again. Out in front with a backhand. And it's McDonald to Gretzky. Gretzky coming down with Ashby. They're over the line. It goes to Ashby. Ashby stopped right in front, and Sittler got back in time. The referee goes down. It's up to Terry Martin. Martin can't get anywhere, and here's Gretzky again. And for Ashby and McDonald. They come down over the line. Ashby was checked. Puck ends up on the stick of Gretzky, then Gretzky's checked. Harold Sittler comes straight back over the line. Trying to get it through to Terry Martin, and Martin couldn't get a shot. Edmonton clear the puck into the corner, but Pamos there. Hunter caught him covered, and here comes Gretzky. 3 of them up at center. Over the line, Gretzky gets it right through. And McDonald just missed that pass. It was right on his stick. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
It's here. Any size pizza. Any 3 toppings. Only $9.99. Monster hungry? Get an extra large for $1 more. Right now, order any size pizza with any 3 toppings and free dipping sauce, and it's only $9.99. Add $1 and you've got an extra large. So what are you waiting for? Pick up the phone.
Oh, pizza, hey, hey, hey.
Toronto Sports Radio, the Fan 590.
Ah, you're here.
Hi.
Oh, I know. It's just, wow. Your gums look good, and your teeth are so white.
In addition to fighting cavities, new Colgate Total Plus Whitening provides clinically proven protection between brushings and will help get your teeth their absolute whitest.
The tooth fairy in my chair. Small world.
Small world? Try flying around it 2 or 3 times a night.
Colgate, the choice of today's dentists and hygienists.
It's not just what I get to be or where I get to go. It's forgetting about being sick. Leaving worry on the doorstep. Making plans for the future. I'm still making plans for the future.
Raptors NBA TV. Catch the action. Call your cable or satellite provider to subscribe.
Well, there you see an update. Gretzky within one. He's been in on every play tonight except the penalty shot. 1 goal, 3 assists. Having a breather right now. Could have had another one there in that last shift.
Puck's out at center ice. Edmonton leading Toronto 5-4, 7:10 to go in the second period. Long shot by Kevin Lowe, and they're going to call it ice. Tomorrow afternoon on Sports Weekend, Canada's Brian Budd defends his title in the World Superstars competition from Freeport in the Bahamas.
You know, down in our studio, we're keeping up to date on the out-of-town scores as our studio statistician, Rick Briggs-Jude, is checking with tonight's other 3 games. We'll have them and a look at the playoff situation on the NHL tonight.
We have Kazicki now at center with Boschman and Saganak, Wilson and Turnbull. It's against the boards. Edmonton trying to get it out of there. Kevin Lowe falls on it, and that's where play ends. So we have Stan Weir out at center. He's scored on a penalty shot. And Boreas Salming fell on the puck in the goal crease. The puck is cleared out to center ice. It got by Dave Lumley. And Turnbull's pass over here for Kazicki. Can't get anywhere. Hunter shoots it right back in again. Lumley goes after it. But it's Boschman there first. Shoots it around on the boards for Rocky Saganak. Kevin Lowe couldn't keep it in. Goes after it. Ian Turnbull then steals the puck. Ian Turnbull tries to go through, and that's shot out to center ice. Goes back down into Leaf territory, and it's Ron Wilson with it. Wilson ahead to Saganak. Saganak at center. Saganak over the line. Shoots one. Lowe stopped that. Saganak went after his own rebound. And Edmonton just clear the puck out to center ice. Turnbull at his own blue line. Long pass up for Boschman is offside from the one zone to another.
An update in Washington in the third period. Gorence has scored for the Flyers. Gustafson for the Capitals. That game is tied at 3. Glenn Sather is certainly excited about the way the Oilers are playing. They put together a streak at the right time. Their longest 4 in a row. The last 2 on the road where they've been having trouble all year.
They look extremely well balanced right now. A long pass, that's deflected over the line, and Ricky Bide goes after it. He tried to get it in front, and that was Wayne Bianchi, number 15, who made the play on that one. Now the Leafs have another chance, and Derlego couldn't drag the puck far enough. Back up for Messier. Messier over the line, trying to get it in front to Bianchi, and the puck ends up along the boards, and a shot by the Leafs down the ice. That's Lee Fogelin, number 2, back for it. Fogelin just shot it out to center ice. The Leafs clear it right back. 5 going in after with Fogelin. And that ends up in the corner. Pat Hickey tried to get it. Messier. Then Hickey is dumped. There's going to be a tripping penalty there. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada.
Well, here you'll see a perfect 9.5. Lee Fogelin caught for tripping on Pat Hickey. The Leafs have the opportunity here to tie this game up again. We've had 9 goals so far and lots of time left.
Stan Weir out there with Messier as the forwards. It comes back to Turnbull. A shot, they score! A deflection in front. And I think that was Wilfie Pima again.
Well, those face-offs become so very important, especially when you win them cleanly, as Sittler did here. Not too much you can do, but Turnbull keeps the puck low. So anytime you do that, you can have that deflection. Paymon, who's been heading for the net all night, is rewarded for a second time. But Stan Weir just can't get there in time to prevent stopping the shot. That only took 3 seconds to put that goal home. Paymon deflecting it by Ronnie Lowe.
And the official time of the goal was 14:46. We have a 5-5 tie. Puck into the corner. Kevin Lowe after it. Kevin Lowe shot the puck down the ice. That's over the red line. Back is Burroughs to touch it. The linesman puts up his arm, and we have icing.
You know, a lot of players certainly build up their statistics at home. But let's look at Wayne Gretzky's road record in the last 8 games. This is his 8th game. He has 9 goals and 13 assists, 22 points in his last 8 road games. And this game isn't over yet.
And that was Paymon, I believe, his 30th of the year. We have Sittler, Paymon, and Terry Martin. 4:55 remaining to play in the second period. A 5-5 tie. The puck was not dropped fairly. We'll do it all over again.
Well, Joe Crozier, he's had this line against Gretzky just about the whole night. Sittler, he wanted Sittler against Gretzky. And I know Sittler, he's probably thinking, you know, I don't want any 19-year-old kid outplaying me.
Right, and Paymon gets the puck, comes back to Hotham. Goes into the corner, Terry Martin, and it was kicked in by Kevin Lowe. That shot down the ice. Greg Hotham goes back for it. Ashby's up after him. He bounces into him. Gretzky trying to dig the puck out. Paymon gets in front. Hotham's down, and the puck goes underneath his skate, so we'll have a face-off.
Even if you're not at the Molson Canadian Rocks blind date, you'll look like you were with Molson Canadian Rocks gear. Now in specially marked get-together cases. 12 Canadian, 12 Coors Light. Must be legal drinking age, no purchase necessary.
Classic Rock is back. Classic Rock is back. Classic Rock is back. Classic Rock, Q107.
Since 1931, these walls have held the best that hockey had to offer, and in these seats sat the most loyal of fans. Now's your opportunity to own a piece of history, to own a genuine seat from Maple Leaf Gardens. Greens and grays are priced at $450 a seat, while golds and reds are available at $600 apiece. Call 1-888-764-4444. Your opportunity to own a piece of history is now.
They'll find them.
Give this little one a bed.
There are no more beds.
I don't know how long she's been down here.
We'll find you someplace.
And Laura wouldn't have died if this community could agree on a real hospital. If we can forget our differences.
Я можу дозволити $50. Ми білдували найліпшу стайну. То ми збудуємо шпиталь? Ну, так. Добре.
Our community did get together and build a real hospital with free services. Maybe we started something.
Puck in the corner. Eighth player was knocked down. Goes out to center ice. Kevin Lowe heading it over onto the far side, and then back up to Gretzky. Here he comes at center. Gretzky over the line. Still has it. Drops it back. Has it too far from him. Hotham gave it back to McDonald. There's Gretzky back of the net. Got it out in front. Ashby couldn't get a shot. Paymon comes back for the Leafs. And offside was Darryl Sittler showing a burst of speed.
Darryl Sittler heading for the bench right now. Been very effective tonight. Paymon with 2 deflected goals. Sittler trying to reach that 100-point plateau. There you see the sign, and you know, sometimes during the course of a game, the players will lose the edge of their skate. trainer's trying to rectify that situation.
It's Fogelin getting it up over the line, and then it was knocked right back out again. It was Fogelin now shooting it again. Hits the linesman. Anderson covers him in front of the Edmonton bench. And that's where the faceoff will be.
Well, there's Harold Watson and granddaughter Jill. You remember Bugsy Watson played for just about every team in the National Hockey League. Having a look at tonight's hockey game.
Long shot off the boards, and it's out over the blue line, and Laurie Boschman along past the Saganuk. Saganuk, he was checked by Hicks. Now then Turnbull comes to the line, lost the puck, and it's cleared out. Weir tried to get it back to Lumley. Now it's handed right back again. A pass up here to Hunter. Dave Hunter still has it, tried to center it. It's picked off. They're trying to get Fogelin. Now they go to Hicks. Along the boards, Hunter. Finally digging it out was Lumley. Gets it to Weir, a shot, and Palmetier stopped that. Knocked off the boards and down the ice. 2 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the second period. A 5-5 tie. Dave Burrows, number 26, at it, the red line. Comes up to the blue line and over. Knocks Hunter down. Hicks is there, though. Derlego gets in there, and that's where play will end.
Well, good individual effort there by Dave Burrows, trying to get into that zone. You look at Billy Derlego. Coach Harry Neal said that's probably the best thing that happened to Derlego is to leave Vancouver. A fresh start. He has a lot of potential. Whether he can do it here in Toronto remains to be seen. There's the time, 17:25 gone. Score is tied at 5.
And we have Gretzky back out there again. Now it's Vive shooting it around back of the net. Derlego centered it right in front to Hickey. And he got his shot away. There's right in front to Vive, and he drove it wide. He was left uncovered in front of the net. The puck is loose again. Hickey centers it. Gretzky goes after it. Gretzky can't get it out. And Derlego is given a bump. Now it's back for Edmonton. Here's Ashby over the line. And it comes out to center ice. And of course, next Saturday, it's Boston at Montreal on the National Network, and Minnesota will be playing the Leafs here in Toronto, Southern Ontario Network.
Well, that last play there where the Oilers went offside, they fenced it up in that blue line, they challenged, and that caused the offside, and that's really what you have to do with this line here.
Now Kevin Lowe comes up over the Leaf line. Ron Wilson, a piece of him. Here's Ashby going in, and he shot it wide. Now Ashby with 2 goals so far. Here's Ashby with it again. Back it comes the drive. That goes off the leg into the corner, and Derlego sends Vive down the right wing. Vive over the line, took his shot off the leg. And he's squeezed out by Kevin Lowe. The puck is loose, though. It's back of the net, and Gretzky gets there to pick it up. Number 99, Wayne Gretzky, getting up to center ice to Blair McDonald. McDonald, watched by Turnbull. And the Leafs will come back. Derlego and Vive with Hickey trailing. And the pass is deflected. Turnbull gets a shot. And Ron Lowe stopped that. As they go end to end, the puck is off the glass, into the corner. Vive goes after it. Vive nearly stole the puck. Pat Price lost it to Derlego. There's a shot. And Hickey tried to deflect that one. Another one in front. Another shot. Lowe stopped that.
In this period.
And it's cleared by Edmonton out to center ice. Gretzky's got a break. Turnbull trying to get back. Gretzky takes his shot, and he hit the side of the net. But he still got it. Out in front, McDonald a shot. Finally, it's picked off by Paymal. Paymal gets it over the line. Terry Martin went after it. Paymal's there. Right in front, the submarine shoots. And Ron Lowe didn't know where that was. But he made the save anyway. Terry Martin fronts it again. And diving on that was Hicks. Ends up in the corner. Back of the net. Hicks and Sittler. See what happens. There's 19 seconds. It comes to Sittler. Sittler trying to center it. We have a 5-5 tie back for Edmonton. Up at center, and McDonald gets relief by shooting it in. Palmatier shot it right back. Here's Sittler with a long shot. 1 second left. There goes the bell. And an action-packed second period ends.
Well, the Oilers continue to play very loose in their own zone, always leaving that slot man open. Good chance here by Sittler. Ron Lowe had no idea where the puck was. He did make the pad save, but the Oilers are going to have to tighten up in their own zone. Here's another chance and a sprawling save. And here's the good play by Gretzky. He fakes the slap shot, freezes Palmatier, ends up hitting the goalpost on that play.
And so the score at the end of the second period, Edmonton 5, Toronto 5.
Aren't you gonna bring your jacket?
Nah, I'll be fine.
It's getting chilly. Want to grab something to warm up?
Yes, if you want.
Nothing warms you up like a bowl of Tim's Own chicken noodle soup. Enjoy any one of our hearty soups with a toasted buttered bagel and a medium coffee for just $3.59.
Hey, what's your hurry?
Come home for lunch at Tim Hortons.
Leafs TV. Hear the excitement. Call your cable or satellite provider to subscribe.
Game tied 5-5. It's a shootout at Maple Leaf Gardens. Wayne Gretzky has a goal and 3 assists on the 5 goals that scored. Tough to get an assist on the penalty shot, I suppose, so we have to give him one for that. Darryl Sittler is in a situation as being, well, Mr. Maple Leaf, I guess, for the years that he's been here. And all of a sudden now things are starting to unravel a little bit. And the trading of Williams and McDonald, the infighting that's going on with Punch Imlach, who is trying to reassert his control over the situation. Darryl has a no-trade contract at this point, so an awful lot of things are kind of going on in the dressing room. What was it felt like as a player sitting beside him or working with him as to what he was going through at this point, Pat?
It was pretty tough, and I've asked that question a lot. And again, I just go back to, we had a lot of chemistry and camaraderie in New York, and that's what took us to the with Fred Shero, who delegated and let us run the team, took us to the Stanley Cup Finals the year before. So I used to use some of those techniques around and everything. But the one thing that I did see with Darryl was he and Wilf Paymon became really good friends, and I think that picked up some of the missing of Lanny and Tiger and things that had been for 5 to 7 years. But the other thing that I was really proud of Darryl was he took a liking to Laurie Boschman, and I think we know what Laurie became after that. So it was those lessons, and the thing that we always want to do in the community or with a team or with a young player is you always want to pass on some of the expertise that you have. And even through a tough time, Darryl managed to do that. I don't know if he liked Rocky Saginaw much because Rocky didn't do anything, but with all of the kids, I think I remember going to a movie in Winnipeg when we were out there with Darryl, just the two of us, just sort of to get out. And he never wanted to go, so I sort of showed him the New York thing, and so we just went in the back door, talked to the manager, and went up and watched a movie, sort of like normal. So there was a lot of things going on there, but he came to play all night long. This was a time we knew we were in the playoffs. We were trying to achieve, but we were getting beaten up by some of these new styles, new strategies, and a team like Edmonton that had a lot of camaraderie and chemistry going for us, because I think that's the only thing that beat us.
And they had great speed, and they had the youth and everything else, and it really was a situation where they were changing the game themselves.
Definitely. We all watched it with Bobby Orr, and And at that time, we all welcomed it, but at the same time, we didn't really understand it. I mean, from what Wayne was doing, and if you watch this game too, there was a guy named Mark Messier deep in there that went up against Darryl all the time, and I don't believe that he wasn't sort of just you know, buddies with Darryl. He was hacking him in the calves and all that kind of stuff, all that stuff that you don't see out there. And I'm sure Darryl was a little bit sore, but he kept up the morale in the locker room, and you know, we'll watch the third period and see if we woke up.
All right, so the Maple Leafs and the Oilers are tied 5-5 after 2 periods of play. It's March 29th, 1980, and this is Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
The best thing about the Coors Light Silver Sweet football party is you don't have to play football to get in. See details at a participating bar near you. No purchase necessary. Must be legal drinking age. Are you ready for some football?
Introducing Mojo AM 640, talk radio for guys.
Move along, all of you. Make way for the envoy.
October 17, an envoy comes ashore with an ultimatum of surrender for Governor Frontenac.
It's been a long time since I've seen the enemy this close. Tell me, Caporal. Lieutenant. Ah oui, Lieutenant. About your Colonel Schnips. General Phipps. Ah, Phipps, oui. Is he still such an idiot? Oh God, monsieur! Does he really think he can conquer Quebec with only 2 or 3 ships? Monsieur, we have 34 ships and a full regiment from Boston. Frontenac has 1 hour to surrender. You terrify me, Caporal. Wait! Enough! Arrêtez! Well, Governor Frontenac, your reply, sir. I will reply from the mouth of my cannon.
The Americans pressed the attack, but Frontenac beat them off. Phipps weighed anchor and never returned.
5-5 tie between the Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs with 20 minutes of play remaining here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Howie, a real shame that there are no highlights for you to pick out that second period. Go ahead.
Just an unbelievable hockey game. I think it's the greatest highlights I ever had. And I have to apologize to all you folks at home. We manufactured a bunch of garbage for you about Gretzky in the first period. A little bit of pressure on me for the first time in a long time. Watch this kid. Unbelievable. Here's the true Gretzky. Picks up the puck. Hey, look at it. There's a Maple Leaf with the puck and going in on the net. Watch the fake shot. Takes Palmateer out for lunch. Look at Palmateer isn't giving him anything. Look at the fake. Palmateer goes for it, ties himself in knots, falls down, and it bounces off the outside of the post. I don't think it could have gone in. Got to show you this one here. Look at a Leaf with the puck behind the net. How can you give it to an Oiler? No way. No way at all. Now, that's Ashby with the puck. Stop it right there, fellas. Look at Derlego. Here's Ashby. Here's Ashby. Okay, let her go. How about this? Come on, Topo, do it again. Do it again, Topo, thanks. Look at this shift on Turnbull. McDonald, a heck of a play. And in comes Ashby, who was checked in center ice all by himself. Palmateer out for lunch, hot dog, mustard, and a beer, and then it goes. Just super highlights.
You think Gretzky likes to play here at Maple Leaf Gardens, close to his home in Brantford? 2 games this year, 8 points already, still got another period to go. Wilf Payma deserves a mention so far with 3 goals to keep the Leafs in it, 5-5, and who knows where that score will end up. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada.
In the second period, Don Ashby broke the 2-2 tie, scoring his 8th goal of the year. Wayne Gretzky picking up an assist. Rocky Saganuk tied the game. Then Stan Weir on the penalty shot restored the Edmonton advantage. Wilf Payma with his 2nd goal of the game tied it before Don Ashby made it 5-4 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers with his 9th and Wayne Gretzky's 4th point. Wilf Payma with his 30th of the year completes the hat trick, and the game is tied 5-5 after 2 periods of play. You're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
This fall,
he claims to be a visitor from another planet.
K-Pax.
Prepare to meet a stranger.
Maybe you could show us how this light travel works.
Who will open your mind.
How could you know this?
And change the way you see the world.
Okay, she says she doesn't like it when you sneak up on her.
No way.
Kevin Spacey, Jeff Bridges.
Your produce alone has been worth the trip.
K-Pax.
Be prepared for anything.
At theaters Friday, October 26th.
The Toronto Maple Leaf Community Fund is committed to supporting children's charities and community initiatives throughout Toronto. The fund raises over $1 million annually through events like the Bell Leaf Alumni Charity Golf Classic, the TD Toronto Maple Leaf Skate for Easter Seals, the Have a Heart Dinner, and many, many more. Events like these not only raise money for charities, but put the sparkle back in the kids' eyes. The Leaf Community Fund, giving back to our community.
Well, that tells the whole story there as we look at the out-of-town scores. Now in the third period, a real shootout to Joe Louis Arena. Detroit ahead, Nadamansky getting that 8th goal.
And play underway. The puck taken by Fogelin, lost it. The Leafs have it. Martin's pass nowhere near his teammate. And back over the line, Messier getting it into the corner. That's Peter Driscoll as the puck is shot down the ice and going back for it. Fogelin again. Hicks is with him. We have a 5-5 tie. Fogelin coming up to his own blue line, up at center. And he was checked. Messier missed it. Paymont's got it. One man back. Paymont goes in with a shot. And Lowe deflects it off his glove into the crowd.
Well, that's something that the Oilers will certainly have to improve this period, is the shot total.
And Gary, Bobby Woods of Maple Leaf Gardens is convalescing in hospital after minor surgery. So, Bob, from all of us at Hockey Night in Canada and the staff of Maple Leaf Gardens, you get well soon.
There you see the Leafs bench. Joe Crozier continues to pace and offer encouragement.
When they face off, that's Kazicki clearing the puck around on the boards. Larry McDonald shot it out to center ice. He's out there with Gretzky and Ashby. And Turnbull has the puck. Turnbull a quick pass, and Kazicki just failed to get it with Pat Price and trying to recover. Ashby gets back. Clears it to number 4, Kevin Lowe. And Kevin Lowe back in the net. Gretzky tapped the glove to him. Pat Price just gets rid of it. It's knocked back in again. There's a delayed whistle, finally offside.
There's Brian Wayne, one of the producers of Hockey Night in Canada telecast. NHL Tonight. And the World Hockey Report. And there's the camera that does all the work for the World Hockey Report.
That's Stan Weir at center. Lumley is playing on the right side. Kevin Lowe stays out there. A long pass for Lumley. Leafs break that up. Now then Pat Hickey's pass, and it's cleared back to Lumley again. He in turn gives it away at center ice, then gets it back, and he bumps into Stan Weir, and the puck is shot all the way down around back of that into the corner. Pat Price gets it back again to Lowe. Lowe shot it along the boards. And David Hunter couldn't get past center ice. Derlego was knocked down. Now it's Hunter trying it again. Over the line, gets his shot. Palmatier had no trouble with that. Weir takes his man to the boards, and we'll get a whistle.
Stan Weir, since he's come to the Oilers, has added a second centerman that can certainly score some goals. You know, a team, to be successful, they certainly have to have that strength down the middle. They have two real good ones and a third on the way. That's young Mark Messier, 19 years old, along with Gretzky, 19 years old, two of the youngest players playing the National Hockey League today.
So we have Gretzky back out there again with McDonald and Ashby. Puck goes back into Edmonton territory, hits after it, and he gives it to McDonald. McDonald's pass tips off a stick, and a nice play by Terry Martin to prevent Edmonton from getting loose. Goes back. Clearing pass over from Salming to Turnbull. Turnbull tried to get it over on the other side for Paymo. It goes back to Turnbull. A 5-5 tie, 17 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in the game. And it's Turnbull, a pass over to Sittler. Sittler coming up through center. A long pass on the right wing. Paymo trying to get it back to Martin. Does. Martin trying to get it out in front. And Fogelin clears the puck out to center ice. Stopped by Turnbull again to Paymo. To John Anderson. He's over the line. Back to Sittler. Sittler to Paymo. Paymo got it over. There's a shot by Turnbull, and that was wide, and the rebound came right out in front. Comes back to center ice. Turnbull's got it again. Turnbull over the line to Anderson. There's the shot. Lowe stopped that. There's a big rebound, and it comes all the way out and down the ice. Turnbull back for it. Turnbull goes over onto the wing. Ron Wilson. A quick pass for Anderson. Anderson again with a drive, and Lowe isn't sure where it is, but he's got it. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada.
The time has come to witness the power of one. Freeze! From the director of Final Destination, on November 2nd.
There's only one place he could be going.
One man will bend reality to control the universe.
There's never been anything like what I have become.
Jet Li, the One. Opens November 2nd.
Get it from the source. Authentic Leaf and Raptors wear and collectibles. Visit Air Canada Centre or call for your free catalog. Centre Sports. It doesn't get more authentic than this.
No one ever anticipates that life might take a turn for the unexpected. But for the 1 in 12 Canadians who will be diagnosed this year with liver disease, life will suddenly become more precious because sadly, there's no cure. The amazing thing is, if we all work together, we can make a difference. Every day, researchers discover new miracles. And with your generous support, the Canadian Liver Foundation will continue its search to unlock the mysteries of a disease that always hits too close to home.
Well, there's the final score. Detroit over Quebec, 9-7. That'll move them up in the standings for that playoff spot.
Kazicki at center with Anderson, and Saganaga comes back. Hoffman had to go to the corner. Evan Lowe giving it to Mark Messier. Messier just flips it out and down to center. Puck is knocked back to Kazicki. Kazicki comes down over the line for the Leafs, and he can't get anywhere. Back for Edmonton. Trying to go around was Murdoch, and he was knocked down. Now it's Greg Hotham. Long shot. That's off the glass. Kevin Lowe shoots it around on the boards. It's stopped by John Anderson. Anderson couldn't center it. Pat Price comes and tries to clear it. Now then Anderson goes back to the net again. Lowe to Price. Price gets it up to Murdoch. Murdoch relays it to center ice. And it's knocked in there by Driscoll, Peter Driscoll. Goes back to the net into the corner for Burroughs. Burroughs being watched by Murdoch. Murdoch took the puck away from him, trying to center it. And covering up was Kazicki.
Well, attending his first hockey game tonight, actor Richard Sanders, who plays Lies Nessman, newscaster on WKRP Cincinnati. Lies is an honorary Edmonton Oiler and an avid sportsman.
Stan Weir at center. That's Lumley, number 20, Dave Lumley, on the right side. And the puck at the blue line is cleared down the ice. Colin Campbell have to go back for it, but there's no icing. Hickey was given a hook by Al Hamilton. Puck out at center ice for Stan Weir. Weir comes up over the blue line. Gets a pass over and away. There's a shot, and it's fired wide. Off Dave Hunter. Another shot. Here's a chance for Lumley. Right in front, and Stan Weir just couldn't control it. Back up at center, Derlego for Pat Hickey. Over the line. Back for Derlego, and he drove it wide. Comes back. Wilson shoots it into the corner. Comes to Pat Hickey. And Hickey tried to center it. They go to the boards. The puck is still loose. Stan Weir to the blue line. Lumley gets it out. Paid by Hunter to Lumley. Lumley's over the line. Tried to break through the defense. Goes to the corner. Centered it right out in front. And it goes over to Hunter. Hunter shot it around on the boards. Ian Turnbull goes after it. A 5-5 tie. Leafs can't get out. Finally, it's cleared out by Ricky Bive, who is going to try and get off the ice. That's Doug Hicks, number 5, coming up for Edmonton. We have a 5-5 tie over the line. Gretzky left it there, and that is flipped by Wilson, and that goes over the glass into the crowd. Tonight's game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And there you see Roger with Joe Crozier, and 6:04 is the time that's elapsed so far, and the score is tied 5-5. The puck goes into the corner, picked up by Burrows. Burrows shot it around on the boards. Pimos trying to get it out, he can't. Gretzky got it back, and then it's Hitler intercepting to Terry Martin. Martin goes over the blue line, takes the shot, and Lowe stopped that. Larry McDonald ahead to Gretzky. He's over the line, drops it back, trying to get through. The puck is still loose, and Sittler sends Pimon down the right wing. At center, over the blue line, fakes the shot, lets it go. Lowe stopped that. Terry Martin went after the rebound, and it's chopped out. Gretzky goes after it, Burrows back. McDonald with him. There's the shot, it's score!
Has he made a believer out of you yet, Bill?
He absolutely has. He did earlier.
You know, he never fails to amaze you. It looked like he was going to set up McDonald, and perhaps Paul Matier may have had that in mind too. Elected to shoot it, and you saw what happened. That's 5 points. But he gets set, a little pause, lets the slap shot go, and into the net she goes. And he is now tied with Marcel Dion for the scoring leadership. And another thing here, you know, Bobby Clark, getting back to Gretzky's assist total, has 89. Gretzky has now 83. And here's the way Paul Matier sees it. Right in the net.
That's it, he didn't see it. It was in the net. The puck into the corner, comes along to Dan Murdoch, shot it out, 6-5, Edmonton leading. Anderson is checked by Murdoch. Murdoch comes over the line, gets it over, in front, oh, a shot, another try. And that one went flying over top of the net as Driscoll had a great opportunity.
Well, let's face it, this hasn't been a game tonight for the checking aspect of the game. It's been wide open, freewheeling. It's great for the fans. They love it. And across the network. And that has to be a thrill. There you see the tie now with Gretzky and Dion, that the whole network is able to see Wayne Gretzky in action tonight. And what a performance he has put on.
He's figuring in every scoring play except the penalty shot by Stan Weir. And now they're getting on Palmatier. Wilson unable to get out. Shot back by Messier. Goes back to the net. And it's Ian Turnbull. Turnbull, his pass knocked down. Briscoe, and it went over the glass into the rail seats.
Well, what Joe Crozier had talked about before the game about defense certainly hasn't transpired tonight.
Next Saturday, see the 136th running of the Grand National Steeplechase from Aintree, England on CBC Sports Weekend.
Well, they've got the total down already. 132 points. Gretzky. He must be from Brantford, Ontario.
Well, Stan Weir is out at center now. Puck comes out in front. Lumley gets it back. Here's a drive. Oh, that's just wide by Kevin Lowe. As the Leafs are vulnerable in their own zone. A long pass down the ice. It's over the red line. Lowe touches it, and that's icy. 12-13 remaining in the game. 6-5 Edmonton.
Well, both teams have left a lot to be desired in their own zone. Not doing a very good job of checking and covering up. And, you know, when you get into the playoffs, the Leafs, of course, have a playoff place clinched. The Oilers have not as of right now. Perhaps with a win tonight, they will solidify that position. But, you know, once you get in the playoffs, that's the name of the game, is defense.
They're just announcing here in Maple Leaf Gardens that Wayne Gretzky is caught up to Marcel Dion in the scoring race. Doug Hicks cleared the puck to the blue line. Hotham kept it in. And now then Edmonton will try it again. A pass for Lumley. That's broken up and shot back out to center ice, and the Leafs will come back. Derlego and Pat Hickey. Hickey 16, Derlego shakes his shot. And Ronnie Lowe covers up. This is Hockey Night in Canada from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Toronto's making the switch to the new Energy FM.
The new Energy FM at 95.3. You feel better when you have more Energy FM at 95.3.
Energy FM. Toronto's making the switch to the new Energy FM.
The new Energy FM at 95.3. You feel better when you have more Energy FM at 95.3.
Energy FM.
はい、いらっしゃいませ。こんにちは。何か。
Looking for nail clippers. Do you have nail clippers? You know, nail clippers? Clip. Yeah. This is exactly what I need.
Rated E for everyone.
The Raptors Foundation exists to help kids. It's a chance for the players to give back to their community, and they do it in so many ways. Basketball clinics, hospital visits, reading programs, 17 scholarships, and $9 million to date. These are just a few of the ways the Raptors Foundation helps children. The Raptors Foundation, lifting spirits, changing lives.
Don Ashby scores his third goal of the game, his 10th of the year, and former Maple Leaf first-round draft pick in 1975. Wayne Gretzky has his 6th point, his 133rd point in his rookie season in the National Hockey League. He moves ahead of Marcel Dion at this point in the scoring race. He'll finish with 137 points, tying Marcel Dion, and Dion wins it because he scores more goals. But everybody is sitting back. And Joe Crozier suggests that everybody came to watch Wayne, and maybe my team did too.
Isn't it amazing? I thought 100 points was a lot. Yes. Now we got 10 guys in the league scoring over. It was an exciting time, and not that we wanted to get into one of these games, but you saw Edmonton coming, and it was 8-6 every night. Didn't matter, they win, they lose, it was 8-6, and those games were kind of special. I mean, 5-3 was kind of like the norm for us at the time. But yeah, when I first went up with the Rangers and you go to Montreal Forum, I mean, there was a point there, maybe the first 2 games, you sort of stood around and watched that beautiful red fly by, you know, and Lafleur, and all of a sudden you said, wait, this is my job, I better get going. So, but in Toronto at that time, what we were fighting against was, you know, too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. You know, there was all kinds of in the front office with punch, and he was getting sicker and sicker and making decisions that we were being told by, from Floyd Smith to Jerry McNamara to the guy that drives the Zamboni. So nobody really knew who was in charge at the time, and I think that sometimes our job was to play, and maybe we tried to spend too much time figuring things out in the locker room and coach ourselves, and which works sometimes, because it worked with Freddie Shero. I think I told you, he came on the ice that year. We went to the Stanley Cup Finals 4 times, but he delegated.
Did you get lost?
He delegated really well. Well, probably. He had a Watts phone in the locker room there. But no, I think his style, basically, Mike Nicolak handled us and directed us on the ice with the discipline that we needed. But basically, he left us in charge, which I don't think worked in this situation in Toronto, because there was just a lot of change going on, and I think some nights we forgot to really come and play our best.
Well, the Maple Leafs have fallen behind, and we've got the rest of the third period to come. And let's go back upstairs to Bill.
There's the number 99.
Verlego won the draw, but the puck winds up with Ronnie Lowe getting it over on the left side to Hunter. Hunter moves up at center, a long shot into the corner. Lumley goes after that. Palmatier came out of the net. A long pass down the ice, a race for it. Going after it is 5. He kicked it, and Fogelin is there. Fogelin up on the boards, and Stan Weir carrying it up at center, over the line. There's a shot by Lumley, and that's high and over top of the net. The rebound all the way to the blue line, up at center. And Edmonton break it up. The Leafs then take a brace with Ron Wilson shooting the puck in on a backhand. Saganuk's out there now. John Anderson, as the puck is shot down the ice. It went right by Gretzky. It's going over the red line. It's touched. Icing is the call. 10:41 left.
You know, there's a situation now where Gretzky is almost impossible to stop on a one-on-one. So what's happening, as you see, his point total against the Leafs this season, and what's happening is that he's drawing a crowd, sometimes 2 and 3 players. He has the poise and the confidence to draw those players to himself and then look for that open man. You know, McDonald has 44 goals so far this year. He should have about 60. That's how many scoring opportunities he's had. But at 19, to have that kind of ability.
Here's a shot that ends up back of the net. Picked up by Edmonton. Edmonton's Pat Price shot it up the center ice. Messier tried for Murdoch, and that was too far. And it's John Anderson in front of his own net. A nice pass to Saganuk. Saganuk goes down at center. Over the blue line. A drive, and Lowe knocked it down. Kevin Lowe tries to get it out. Now it's Messier trying it again. And he lost the puck. Now then John Anderson races after the puck. Goes in over the line. Fakes the shot. Still has it. Goes over to Hotham. Hotham a drive. That's knocked down in front of the defense. Play is called. The puck was pushed ahead with a glove. And of course, next Saturday, Minnesota here against the Maple Leafs in Toronto, and Boston at Montreal on the national CBC network.
Mark Messier, that's the other 19 on this hockey club. And, you know, watching him at the beginning of the year, he probably should have been in the minors. Glenn Sather worked with him, and he's turned out to be one heck of a hockey player.
Turnbull a shot. That's knocked down. Another shot. Lowe knocked that one down. Paymont goes into the corner. Gets it out in front. Terry Martin a shot. Sittler is hauled down. And we'll have a penalty to Colin Campbell. With the score, Edmonton 6, Toronto 5. This is Hockey Night in Canada.
Well, there's the action in front of the net. Colin Campbell has to haul down Darryl Sittler. And he'll go off, and what an opportunity for the Leafs on this power play.
Edmonton 6, Toronto 5, 9:47 left in the game. Leafs with a man advantage. It comes back to Wilson. Wilson goes to Turnbull. Turnbull passed it over, and Paymont just failed to deflect it. Darryl Sittler with the puck. He goes back to Wilson, into Turnbull. Turnbull shot. Lowe stopped that. Paymont's got it. Paymont back to Turnbull. Here goes another shot. That's knocked down. in front of the net. Getting up rather slowly, Lee Fogelin. But a great defensive play by the Edmonton Oilers.
Now you find out teams when they're fighting for a playoff spot, and even the playoffs, that they're willing to sacrifice, even if it means getting hurt to win a hockey game. You saw what Lee Fogelin did there, went down to block that shot. You know, the Oilers have to pay a little attention to Daryl Sittler. He always plays over on that right side there on his off wing, ready to shoot the puck. Always has the ability to get himself in the open.
Fogelin fails to get the puck out, gets another try, and this time gets it down the ice. Stan Weir goes down. Palmateer shot it off the boards, and it's Wilf Pimo. Pimo for Turnbull. Ian Turnbull with the puck. Turnbull picking his way out to his own blue line. A pass over to Ron Wilson. Wilson's pass to Sittler. Offside.
Well, Ron Wilson has been used on the power play on that right point, and he's made some good plays. That's usually where your power play originates from, is the point. Very important. And, oh. Oh, boy.
Well, he's enjoying himself.
Oh, sure. What else is there to do at a hockey game? Maybe besides eat popcorn, chew gum, and watch the excellent plays out there.
Yeah, Stan Weir, Pat Price. It's over the line for Hickey. Pat Hickey with a backhand, and Loesch covered that on the short side. Leafs have the puck out. Pamo goes back to Turnbull. Turnbull lets one fly. The rebound, Sittler with a backhand. And he just couldn't get enough wood on it. Doug Hicks kicks at the puck. Still kicking at it. It goes to Stan Weir, and he gets it out to center ice. Ian Turnbull over for Pat Hickey. He lost it. And it's Pat Price shooting it down the ice into the corner. 8 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the game. Turnbull, a long pass off the skate of Pimo. 23 seconds left in the penalty. The puck is back of the net. Sittler still has it. Sittler trying to get out in front, gets it to Pamo. Pamo back to Burroughs, over to Wilson. Wilson shot it in front, has it handed back to him. Rolls it over for Burroughs. And it's broken up by Edmonton and shot down the ice. A race for it. Out comes Palmateer, and he beat Gretzky to the puck. Play is called as the penalty is over.
Well, good play by Palmateer. He took the gamble there and outraced Wayne Gretzky to the puck. You know, Boris Salming hasn't played at all in this third period. Instead, he reopened that cut when he fell to the ice. Fine work by statistician Ed Milliken giving us this information. Stan Weir talking things over with Dave Hunter.
And we have Gretzky out on the ice now as they're back at full strength. That's Colin Campbell shooting it over onto the wing. Comes back at center ice. Cleared in by Blair McDonald. Ashby and, of course, Gretzky, as the puck comes through center ice, goes back, driven in by Gretzky, and it's Greg Hotham who has it back of the net. Hotham goes to Bill Derligo. Derligo comes over the blue line. He moves up through center with Kazicki. They're over the line, and Kazicki went in about 3 strides in advance of his teammate. This game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Just go out and play.
Bob.
Shut the up.
But Bob.
Bunch of whiny babies suck.
Toronto Sports Radio, the Fan 590.
Even if you're not at the Molson Canadian Rocks blind date, you'll look like you were with Molson Canadian Rocks gear. Now in specially marked get-together cases. 12 Canadian, 12 Coors Light. Must be legal drinking age, no purchase necessary.
Toronto Sports Radio, the Fan 590.
It's here. Any size pizza. Any 3 toppings. Only $9.99. Monster hungry? Get an extra large for $1 more. Right now, order any size pizza with any 3 toppings and free dipping sauce, and it's only $9.99. Add $1 and you've got an extra large. So what are you waiting for? Pick up the phone.
Pizza, hey, hey, hey.
Don, you're just an idiot.
Yeah, I should be more like you, right?
You're the dink of the day.
Whatever.
Toronto Sports Radio, the Fan 590.
Hi, I'm Dean.
Hey, and I'm Darius, including the Blowfish for Artists Against Racism. Racism is the worst disease you can have because it's not something you can catch, it's just something you're taught.
Exactly. So let's help cure the disease.
Because we don't have time to hate.
Well, we're back live here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. We have 7 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the game, and Edmonton continues to lead by a score of 6-5. And it was Gretzky breaking the tie at 6:48 of this final period. And so now it's Edmonton bringing the puck up to center ice. Over the line for Messier, dropped it back. The shot is wide off the stick of Peter Driscoll. It goes sliding down the ice again. There's no icing. Lee Fogelin goes back to get it. Puck comes. Anderson rolled it right in front of the net and nearly went off Hicks's skate into the net. A long shot to Karam, and it was right on Mike Palmateer. Back of the net for Ian Turnbull. Turnbull coming up. Saginaw ran into Messier. A long shot, knocked down, picked off by Edmonton's number 24, Peter Driscoll, over the line. Driscoll fans on his shot. The puck comes loose and the Leafs break out. A long pass, Sittler up to Saginaw. Saginaw over the line, here's the shot. Lowe dropped that one with his glove. It's cleared around on the boards to Driscoll again. Driscoll of Edmonton is given a knee, and there's going to be a penalty to Saginaw for tripping. Play is called, and Saginaw goes to the penalty box. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, Hockey Night in Canada.
Well, you see the penalty coming up here to Rocky Saginaw. There's a trip right at the blue line. Perhaps Rocky could have just put his body in front of the player rather than turn him around with the stick. Big part of the game right now as far as the Oilers are concerned.
And they have Ashby, Gretzky, and McDonald out there. The puck there, McDonald couldn't keep it in. He has to go back out to center ice. Drops it back. That's Pat Price giving it back to him. McDonald then goes to the left side. They're in over the line. A pass back, and Gretzky fell. The puck is shot by the Leafs down the ice. Haymon goes up after it. Ron Lowe is there, and he goes to Kevin Lowe. Kevin Lowe, a back pass over to Pat Price. Pat Price up at center ice, gets it over the line for Gretzky, but Gretzky can't get anywhere. And so far, the Leafs have been able to keep the Edmonton Oilers at bay while they're shorthanded. However, there's 1 minute and 10 seconds left as the Oilers come over the line. And that's Ashby dropping it back to Pat Price, and it goes by Ashby. Gretzky was given a bump, but Ashby's got the puck. Back of the net to Gretzky. Gretzky still with it. Playing with it behind the net. Still has it. Centered it. Oh, the score! Gretzky to Ashby, and that's 4.
Well, you know, you can't chase them behind the net. You know, how are you going to stop that play? What you have to do is pick up the men that are trying to gain position in front. Of course, Gretzky, he has a look at everything that's happening. And it may, Ashby did get his shot away, and Wilson, it hit his stick and went in the net. But Wilson actually knocked the puck into his own net. Here it comes in, deflects it right through Palmateer's legs. And with that assist, Gretzky is in top of the scorers for the National Hockey League Scoring Championship. 6 points tonight.
Unbelievable. You'd have to see it to believe it, but he's been in on every one but one. Here's over the line, cutting in now for the Leafs. Terlego, a pass for Hickey, and Lowe slid out to cover that. So we have Edmonton leading 7-5 with 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well, this will give you an idea. And away, And there, that says it all. You know, there isn't an adjective that'll describe the year that Gretzky has had this year. And that moves them within 4 points of, or is it 5 points within Clark of the assist record for centermen in the National League.
Down the ice comes Lumley. Lumley over the line, going in alone, takes a shot, he scores! Lumley beat Palmateer, who came out of his net, and that makes it 8-5.
And I believe that's Dave Lumley's 20th of the year. Yeah, that's what you have to do with Palmateer when he comes out. You notice he doesn't have anything to shoot at. Take the shot. He freezes Palmateer, go to the outside because he'll still have lots of angle to put it in. Good play by rookie Dave Lumley. Oh, what a good play. And that'll do it for the Oilers. And that's 22 seconds after Ashby had scored his goal.
So from the face-off, McDonald out there with Gretzky and Ashby. Slipped it through for Ashby. He's hauled down by Paymo, and the puck goes down the ice.
There's a good example right there, Bill, how he feathered that puck right through for Ashby. Had he not been hauled down, he'd been home free.
Up at center ice now for Blair McDonald. He's over the line. Blair McDonald, a drop pass, at least break it up. Terry Martin going down the ice with Sittler. Closing in. Terry Martin, a pass right across the goal mouth. Paymo couldn't get to it. And Blair McDonald again with Gretzky. And also number 3, Al Hamilton. They're over the line, 3 of them. Gretzky's past Al Hamilton right in front. And Gretzky came within an ace. Not putting that one in, and Palmateer is wondering where everybody is.
Yeah, not much support. The Oilers have been breaking for the holes and making those good plays.
Before the multi-platinum albums, private jets, and trashed hotels, they were just unknowns playing a club. For one night only, they're going back. Molson Canadian Rocks Blind Date. For your chance to get in, find the black bottle in specially marked get-together cases. Must be legal drinking age, no purchase necessary. Molson Canadian Rocks Blind Date. Small club, large band, big mystery.
Since 1931, these walls have held the best that hockey had to offer, and in these seats sat the most loyal of fans. Now's your opportunity to own a piece of history, to own a genuine seat from Maple Leaf Gardens. Greens and grays are priced at $450 a seat, while golds and reds are available at $600 apiece. Call 1-888-764-4444. Your opportunity to own a piece of history is now.
There's Wayne Gretzky, another great night for him. 6 points, 2 goals, 4 assists.
And Edmonton leads Toronto by a score of 8-5. From the face-off, a shot. Palmateer just got his glove on that one as it seemed to carry him close to the corner. And they'll have another whistle. 3:15.
Well, a heads-up play by Dave Lumley. Look at how far Palmateer's out. Nothing to shoot at, and that's when you have to make
corner. Anderson tried to get a hold of it, but Driscoll's got it. He elects to hold it with his skate. try to get it loose. They do, and it comes over to Don Murdoch, and he just fires it down the ice. That's over the red line. Going back to touch it is Wilson. And we have 5 minutes and 26, at least 2 minutes and 26 seconds remaining.
Well, if the Leafs lose this game tonight, which they undoubtedly will, they will be mathematically eliminated from finishing higher than 10th overall. And they certainly won't have the advantage of having the first round in their own building. They'll have to start out on the road and play away from home.
Lego with Pat Hickey, and the puck is taken by Stan Weir. He lost it, got it back again, and Weir comes down through center. He's got Hunter. Hunter's going right in alone, and Palmatier stopped that and covers up.
Well, the Oilers have continued to skate with a little speed. Stan Weir, good play here. Hits a driving Dave Hunter. Moved in a little bit too close there. Gave Palmatier a chance to stick check the puck away from him and hold on for the face-off. But the Oilers have certainly hit that open man, and you know, when the wingers aren't coming back and covering, it makes the job a lot easier.
Puck is cleared by Dave Burrows into the corner with 2 minutes and 7 seconds and counting. Greg Hotham gets the puck up to center ice. Cleared by Hickey, wide of the net. Goes over to the far side. Kevin Lowe shot it to the blue line, but not out. Hotham kept it in. And the pass by Vive is taken by Edmonton as they come back to center ice. Over the line and offside was Lumley. And he didn't wait for Kevin Lowe, number 4.
Well, it seems that every time Wayne Gretzky steps on the ice, he's given a round of applause by the fans here at Maple Leaf Gardens, and justifiably so. You know, I've talked to a few people here tonight and asked them when's the last time they've seen a kid like this perform. Not since Bobby Orr broke in the National Hockey League.
Well, we have Richard Mulhern back of the net. Gets it over to Wilson. Wilson's pass to Sittler. Sittler shot it over the line, cleared by Ashby. It's cleared over on this right side. McDonald missed it. Ashby's got it now, number 19. Gets it over onto the left side. That is deflected. Ashby is checked by Sittler. Sittler trying to get a shot. Paymon, a backhand. Low stop that. It's back of the net. Into the corner for Wilf Paymon. Paymon read it in front, a shot. And that try by Ron Wilson was stopped by Lowe. That's knocked down with a high stick. Play is called. And we'll have a face-off with 1 minute and 4 seconds left in the game. Edmonton leading Toronto 8-5.
Well, Don Ashby never really reached his potential when he was here with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Spent some time in the minors. The Oilers got a hold of him, and it's a new lease on life for him. Scored his 8th, 9th, and 10th goals of the year. Certainly fit in that line with Gretzky and McDonald.
That's right, Gary. No question about that. And he's used to play center, but he's certainly been very solid on the left wing. It's Wayne Gretzky. Now he's putting on a little show here. There's a quick pass. Going in alone is Ashby. Right in and goal, and his backhand was wide as he had the whole Leaf club looking at him.
Well, that's what I mean, Bill. You know, time and time again, he feeds his wingers if they would only score in their scoring chances. You know, who knows how many points he could have.
Probably around 200. Over the line for Sittler. Coming up the ice now for Ashby. Ashby clears it over on the far wing. 14 seconds left. Now 12. Paymon took his man into the boards. The puck goes to Sittler. Sittler left it there. It's right in front. And Gretzky put it over top of the net with 1 second left. Oh, he's right in front.
That would have been number 50. Gretzky's got 49, and he has a chuckle about it. He had Palmatier down. He had him frozen. Good play by McDonald. He knows Gretzky needs one more. Feeds him. Down he goes, down. Just over top of the net. Really didn't have that much. Palmatier came across pretty good there.
But he put on a little bit of a shuffle here at center ice, and he mesmerized the whole Maple Leaf team. There goes the bell, and the game is over as Edmonton wins 8-5. In just a moment, our three-star selections.
Aren't you going to bring your jacket?
Nah, I'll be fine.
It's getting chilly. Want to grab something to warm up?
Yes, if you want.
Nothing warms you up like a bowl of Tim's Own chicken noodle soup. Enjoy any one of our hearty soups with a toasted buttered bagel and a medium coffee for just $3.59.
Hey, what's your hurry?
Come home for lunch at Tim Hortons.
Raptors NBA TV. Catch the action. Call your cable or satellite provider to subscribe.
The Edmonton Oilers win it by a score of 8-5. Wayne Gretzky has 6 points, and I guess there's no surprise that Dave Hodge is standing with the star of the game, Wayne Gretzky.
Thank you, Brian. As you said, Wayne has scored 10 points in 2 games here at the Gardens. If they ever put an NHL franchise in Brantford, I don't know that we'll be able to count that high. Wayne, you're talking about the one you missed instead of the 6 points you got, and of course that would have been number 50.
Well, it would have been nice to get my 50th goal in front of the family and a lot of friends, but I had a chance to get it, and I was always told when the goalie's down, put it upstairs, and I put it in about the 15th row.
We should be talking about the 2 goals you got and the 4 assists that you got. Let's talk about adrenaline and must flow for you here in this building. You get a lot of friends, family here from Brantford. You get that feeling before you go out on the ice that it's going to be a big night here?
Well, I do. I think that the biggest thing in hockey is to get yourself ready and prepared mentally. And I think it's tough to get yourself prepared in a city like Atlanta or LA, and coming to places like Toronto and Edmonton, Montreal. It's just hockey feeling all the time. You walk down the street, kids playing road hockey and that kind of thing, and it just gets you all excited, and I just love to play.
I know if I ask you what the most important thing for you the remainder of this season will be, you'll say for the Oilers to make the playoffs and do as well as possible. Let's take that for granted. Is there anything else that rises above another, such as scoring championship, Hart Trophy, Lady Byng? Do you feel badly that you can't win the Rookie Award? Any feelings individually like that?
Well, I guess it's always nice to have individual awards. As far as the Rookie Award is concerned, I knew before I signed a WHA contract that I'd be ineligible, so I can't worry about that. That's my own fault. As far as the other trophies go, the scoring championship, I think that if I can score some goals and get some assists, I'm sure I can take care of 2 birds with 1 stone, and we'll win some games, and hopefully we'll make the playoffs and maybe I'll have a chance to win the scoring race.
A lot of people over the years in the NHL have considered the Hart Trophy the most valuable player award, the biggest award anybody can receive in the NHL. Do you?
Well, I think so. I think that most valuable player goes to a player that I think a team would need more than any other player on the team. If he's absent, you look at it that way. I think a guy like Guy Lafleur is very valuable in Montreal, and a guy like Perreault is valuable in Buffalo, and that kind of thing. So I guess that was probably the most important trophy in the NHL.
While you're talking about other players, tell us about Don Ashby, who is your emergency left winger, if we can say. And if you weren't sitting here, I'm sure he would, because this is a big night for him.
He played just tremendous, and he's playing tremendous hockey for us. He's just a super hockey player. He works hard. He concentrates all the time, and I have to give Donnie a lot of credit. He's just playing super, but I also have to give Mr. Saylor a lot of credit for the opportunity he's given Donnie. Donnie's never been given the chance, and Glenn's been using him power play, penalty killing, and Donnie's just been playing tremendous for us.
Do you have the feeling now that even though it's not clinched by any means, that the Oilers are going to make the playoffs?
Well, we're going to make the playoffs. I'm sure that we don't want to just make the playoffs. We'd like to finish as high as we can, and we're looking at 14th place now, or 13th place, and with a goaltender like Ronnie Lowe, he's playing just tremendous for us. It'd just be nice to win our next few games, and who knows, Rangers won 9 or 10 in a row last year and they carried on in the playoffs, and who knows what can happen with us.
You are going now to play the Vancouver Canucks in what's a very important game, and then you go home. Have you got any thoughts about where you score number 50?
Well, it'd be nice to score at home, but I have an aunt who lives in Vancouver, and I'm sure it'd be nice to score my 50th in Vancouver. I don't want to wait too long.
I think the whole family is here almost. You did want to say hello to somebody.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's here, but I don't think my grandmother's here, and I'd like to say hello to my grandmothers.
Wayne, congratulations. Tour de force by Wayne Gretzky of the Edmonton Oilers. Back to Brian.
Edmonton Oilers win it by a score of 8-5, and you're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
From high on top of the Rocky Mountains comes a taste that's as cold and clean as glacier water, crisp as Arctic air, and with more than 125 years of brewing tradition, it's a taste that always goes down easy.
Hey, Bill, why are you talking like that?
Coors Light, the silver bullet.
Introducing Mojo AM 640, talk radio for guys.
Leafs TV. Hear the excitement. Call your cable or satellite provider to subscribe.
The Leafs lose to the Edmonton Oilers 8-5. Pat Hickey, you get 46 shots on Ron Lowe. It's not like you were standing around just watching the washing machine work. Gretzky comes up with 6 points. There's not much you can do about that, I suppose. But a pretty good hockey game as far as the Leafs were concerned, and yet you still lose.
Yeah, we gave it our all and everything. But Ronnie Lowe was another surprise too. I think he was pretty well new, and I had never really seen him before. But he it was really tough playing in Toronto here sometimes, especially in this situation, because all these guys have got their mums and dads and girlfriends up there in the stands, and you're tested. The Leafs are tested every night for decades, and it'll probably continue because it's still the mecca here. And Edmonton came in with guns a-blaring and a Ronnie Lowe in net. We couldn't find the net.
You're involved in the Leafs. You play here, I guess 2 more seasons, a career that goes on. An enjoyable time, obviously. What does Pat Hickey do these days?
Well, I'll tell you a story though. Before I played the next year with Rick Vive and Bill Gerlago, and we basically kept. I think those are walking orders from Punch. Took care of them, and we had a decent year, but my goal scoring dropped right off. And the beginning of the next year, the 81-82. I sort of did one of those deals myself, and I called up a few people and got traded away because there's rumors that they were going to clean house from Darryl right on down, and I knew I was one of those numbers in there too. So I actually contacted Sonny Werblin in New York, and Craig Patrick had taken over, and I kind of did my own inside deal. No, I didn't have to pay for it with any agents or lawyers or anything.
There's the 10% saved in your pocket.
Just honest over the table conversations, and I don't know if that's tampering or not, but it doesn't really matter. You got to get done what you got to get done. You got to figure it out for yourself. And like my dad said, kids, skate, 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 and the puck will follow you. And right now I'm working hard every day. I'm with CIBC World Markets, which is the bank, CIBC Bank. Out in New York a little bit is where I met them, but I'm in the private client side working in Hamilton, just with investing money and financial planning and things like that.
Are you involved in hockey?
Definitely. I'm on the board of directors of New York Ranger alumni and an advisor with the Leafs and Ronnie Ellis here. But predominantly just setting the plan for the NHL alumni, which is René Robert. Right. And he's basically chartered, and now we're a corporation. You know, the owners and the players are represented by collective bargaining. And as an advisor for the Rangers for the last 5 years, I've been pushing we need our own incorporated entity so that we can have a deal with the NHL, the owners, and with the active players, because they always like to help us, because we cover for them in those golf tournaments. Never get to put in a full summer's work here.
That's right.
But there's a lot of exciting things, and thank you for having me. It's very exciting. I always come back to Air Canada Centre, and being a Leaf, it was a great highlight of my career.
All right, Pat, we want to thank you for joining us. That was great. Good to see you.
All right.
All right. The Leafs take one on the chin. Wayne Gretzky has a big 6-point night as the Leafs lose 8-5 to the Edmonton Oilers. And it was March the 29th, 1980 that we brought Pat Hickey to. And this has been Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV.
Toronto's making the switch to the new Energy FM.
The new Energy FM at 95.3.
Everyone could use a little more energy.
Tell me, did the wind sweep you off your feet?
The new Energy FM at 95.3.
I get energy from my radio 6 or 7 times a day.
You feel better when you have more Energy FM at 95.3.
Energy FM.
The Toronto Maple Leaf Community Fund is committed to supporting children's charities and community initiatives throughout Toronto. The fund raises over $1 million annually through events like the Bell Leaf Alumni Charity Golf Classic, the TD Toronto Maple Leafs Skate for Easter Seals, the Have a Heart Dinner, and many, many more. Events like these not only raise money for charities, but put the sparkle back in the kids' eyes. The Leaf Community Fund, giving back to our community. Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. It's a Canadian game. Brought to you by Molson Canadian.